welcome to the Mystery Children. Welcome to our podcast tonight. I am Trey.
I'm Steve.
I am Patrick. How are you?
Hi, everybody. It's such a lovely day. So lovely for you all to be here.
We back.
All
right.
We back. Also, please go out and consume number 39 and 40, like I just put up recently. Hope
Not so much 39, because 39
is kind of whack. We can all agree that it was whack.
I didn't listen to it.
We weren't
so
in our best form.
PJ was killing it.
Oh, okay.
I was
terrible.
I was bailing water, and
you were not terrible.
Steve just wasn't saying anything.
You didn't have very much to say.
Steve was on his phone most of the time. But I think we talked about earlier, we have topics for today. So in case we do start from,
I'm going to let you guys run with this. I've been really terrible with compiling topics.
You know, I noticed you edited yourself a few times in number 30.
I didn't edit anything.
You edited something because as I was going through, it was like it jumped. It was like jumping.
Well, then
don't you lie to me, you son of a bitch.
It just means I didn't have a coherent thought, and I think I just kind of bridged. Jumped into something else. Yeah.
Maybe
because I didn't edit anything at all. I just put them out
raw and unedited. Well, either way, it's gold. It's all gold.
I don't really edit anymore. I mean, when you guys send them over, I just amplify the levels.
There you go.
And then I send them over.
Need to hear us out. All right. Well, yeah. Welcome to the Mr. Children Podcast, episode 41. It's another lovely Wednesday, another lovely hump day.
It is.
Yeah.
So what are we starting off? What's the topic of the
No topic.
day?
Well, not yet. Just how's the week going?
Yeah. How's the week going?
Fuck this week.
Yeah.
You know what?
Fuck your life.
I was on my way home earlier on the bus, and you know the bus pulled up, and there's some elderly people I allowed to go on before me. So they go on, and there's like an Asian couple, really old, and you know they're old because you know Asians look young forever.
Yeah,
and they looked old. So
wait, are you being sarcastic?
No.
Okay.
Go on.
Was it? So I let them on or whatever, and then like we get on, and then some guy's like, "Oh, here, let me get up." Like he gets up, so you know, sit down. And I was like, "Oh, that's nice," you know. And then
I bet you I can guess what comes next. You slipped on semen.
Trey, were you there? Was that your semen?
I read your mind, right?
No, it's ASAP Rocky.
So the guy gets up, you know, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I let that old lady sit down. And the husband was like, "Excuse me," and he sits on down and leaves her standing, dude. He's like, "Thank you," and then
that's awesome.
I was just looking, and I was like,
really
"Does nobody else think this is fucking hilarious?"
Yeah, it is funny.
And she's kind of staring like bewildered a little bit, and he is not fazed at all.
Of course not.
You know, maybe you've been together for so long.
That guy's had to live with that lady forever. He's like, let me get the damn seat on the bus once.
So then some lady had to move her walker to the side and made room for the lady to sit down, and
that's pretty hilarious.
I was like, wow.
I feel like that's something I would do to Sarah, like in the future. Like, excuse me there.
Push her out of the way.
Out of the way, yeah. Don't mind if I do.
Ask.
You're probably gonna die before her anyway, so you know you might as well get your perks while you
That's
know.
100%. She wants me to live forever. I'm like, babe, I'm gonna fucking die minimum 15 years before you.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a decent amount. No,
Mexicans live a long time. I'm the whole mix of things.
Stuck with both
She's
your
gonna live a long
children's
time.
student loans.
yeah. Oh shit, and your own, right? Well, you know,
And my own still. I'm 90 years old. Jesus Christ.
I'm about to be halfway mark.
God damn it, Navian.
That's actually a good question. Are you going to like actively navigate your children away from
college?
Like, the shit that just taking on a fucking shit ton of student loans?
No. I'm directing my kids are going to be longshoresmen. They're going to be children of the sea. Dead or alive. Gonna be fucking Joopy there with a big ass beard
and an eye
She's
patch.
like, it's so paleo season, motherfuckers.
I think I just have them do the fucking community college route. You know, just go to community. Yeah,
Look,
man.
they gotta get the
'cause
generals
you can
in.
fucking transfer. So you can get to the same place. It'll take a little bit longer, but you'll be like $50,000 less in debt.
What if your girl's like, shut up, Dad, I'm gonna go
Strip.
learn at the School of Hard Knocks.
I'm like, okay then, bitch.
Get in, you little ungrateful bitch.
I think you for sure have to go to college to get your general education done.
It's just a good safety net to have. As scary as it is sinking yourself into student loans, it's definitely a good safety net.
Yeah, just get math, you know, fucking proper grammar
Get
and
your
spelling.
kids, push your kids to do really fucking well in school. Like, make sure that they know that it is paramount, because if they're those overachieving kids, they're more
Then they get
likely to get
scholarships.
scholarships,
Yeah.
grants, free fucking money. That's what you want.
Well, here's the thing too, because
And also, if they're black or Latino, you better go get those free monies from the race specific grants.
They have race specific grants.
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
absolutely, dude. Fuck yeah.
You black? You sure? All right.
Nah, yeah.
I don't
They might.
know.
They call you the N word just to find it. Did that offend you?
You a nigger? What the fuck did you call me? All right, you got it. No, you got it.
I'm
You
just
got it.
saying, check the box that says
Give this man his $1,000.
Negro.
Yeah.
Check the box that says Negro. Sir, it says black. We're African Americans.
Jesus Christ.
No.
Same difference. Negro. Nagger. One of the two.
Nagger.
Horrible.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what I'm going to push. And you know what? I just want my kid to be happy, to be honest.
yeah.
I want them to pursue whatever.
I
makes them happy.
won't push college. If
But
they don't
I'm
want it.
gonna, that's not gonna mean I'm not gonna like subterfuge their ideas and implant little things of science and mathematics into them
Yeah.
so they get into something where they can actually flourish and be smart.
Yeah.
Not like me. If they start picking up a pencil, like I'm good at drawing, Daddy. No, you're not. I'm good at drawing, and look where I'm at.
I think your idea of having them like excel at their academics initially is the probably best, most
It's at
proper.
least smart. It's safe for them, man.
because it means that they get to go to these colleges that would cost them, hundreds of thousands of dollars for significantly less. You might have to pay for lodging or whatever.
or something.
Just to have them, in their housing.
Yeah,
You have to pay for that, but other than that, you won't be paying. I mean, dude, even for books, what the fuck
Oh
are we
my
paying
God,
for books?
books.
It was like $500, $600
Stupid.
for 2 books.
I remember getting
You never
kids-
fucking open it.
Yeah, no, I would. The stupid kids who bought them, I'd be like, "Can I borrow that and fucking scan all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shit?"
Dude, it's a hustle. It's a straight up hustle.
It is.
Remember
awesome.
when we would find out that a book cost $150 and
Yeah.
it wouldn't even be a bound book? It would just be a stack.
paperback?
Yeah, a stack of like fucking scanned in papers and shit. And you'd be like, really? I paid $150
Yeah.
for
That's
a
funny,
loose
yeah.
stack of scanned papers?
You put this together at Kinko's? Fuck you. Yeah.
Rushes over there.
Oh my god. Yeah, man. It was a hustle.
Did you check out? I don't know if you saw it, but PJ, you saw the Afrofuture debacle that's going on with them charging white people.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I did check
yeah,
that
yeah,
out.
White people more money to
I wanna talk about
enter
that.
the festivities
Yeah.
than they
I wanna
were
talk about
charging
that
black
too.
people.
I want to talk about
got a
that.
finger wag for that.
How do you feel about it?
So I was discussing it with a coworker, and the thing is like,
Wait, explain it just briefly, really fast.
so
Concert in Detroit.
concert in Detroit.
It's a Afrofuture, so it's kind of an alternative black festival, which is a fusion between, I guess I would say, dance music, rock, hip hop. So it's all of those things fused into one, but it's mainly directed at alternative black folks.
Right. And then so that's like a $10 charge for them, right? And then it's $20.
Well, it's a POC, so a
People
POC
of
charge,
color.
a people of color charge, and then you had non-POC, which was
$10 more.
Yeah, people who aren't of color, and they would
White.
charge $10 more. So it was $20 for the non-POC, $10 for POC.
See, I think what that does is that perpetuates more racism and segregation.
Are you saying that black people don't deserve to get that discount?
I'm saying that
I'm saying because there are some,
Because now I'm getting heated. Now we're about to have words.
So here's the thing. When you start, look, you have a John Mayer concert, and you know how black people love John Mayer.
They can't get enough.
Well, black people love John Mayer, but John Mayer doesn't love black people.
I'm just fucking around.
But black people do love John
Really?
Mayer. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Only one person loves John Mayer, and that's Black Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Man. So
Do black people really like John Mayer?
Black people enjoy John Mayer.
Wow.
But John
learn
Mayer,
something new every day.
All I know is your
John
body
Mayer
is a
doesn't
woman.
like black women. He isn't sexually attracted to black women.
Okay, he's got a taste. He's got a preference.
Well, he said that. He said it's just not his thing.
That's fine.
It's okay,
and
yeah.
You know what? I bet people jumped his shit for that, but
They did.
fuck you. Everyone has their preference.
Yeah,
Shut up.
fucking shut up, man. So here's the thing. What if and now?
I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm afraid that
I don't necessarily. But I
Here
do.
we go.
I do and don't.
Well, let me tell. Hold on.
Let's see if Zay's case.
Because here's the
And then
thing,
we'll let
and-
Huey Newton talk.
That's not even. I'm not even gonna go there with it.
Wait. So here's the thing. The thing is that
By the way, that's fucked up. Yeah. So
what if at concerts where it's I don't know, it's more of a white Caucasian demographic, and they're like, whoa, black people have to now get charged $10 more.
Stagecoach, it's like a $5 upcharge for black
it's
people.
like now they have permission
So
to
like
do it.
the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah, like the Dixie chicks, you know. So now it allows people who really are racist to be like, it's $10 for you and it's $150 for you. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's extreme.
no, but
I mean, now we're jumping from...
No. Listen, it's extreme, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't happen.
Here's the, like, just in thinking about it on a surface level,
Okay.
the problem that I have with it is that I'm pro anybody being, like, humble to a degree.
Okay.
And let's be fair, European white folks have had a grand old time in this country.
Mm-hmm.
European white folks have had a grand old time in the world at large.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
being treated, having preferential treatment over people of color.
Right.
In multi-different facets and multi-tiered environments. It's always been, for the most part, in their favor when lined up with people of color. They've always been looked at first, and then, you know, you have the second-class citizens if we're comparing the two. Yeah. Why, in this situation, especially with the Afrofuture festivities, the people who run this whole situation, they explained it in saying that we know that people of color, especially people in this Detroit area where we're throwing these festivities, they're not making money like that.
Right.
You know, they're going to be financially in a much different bracket than the average European in that area. So we want to make sure that these people who aren't as financially, I don't know what to say, don't have the advantages, don't share the advantages as the average, you know, white person in this area. We want to make sure they're able to enjoy these festivities alongside these people. It's almost akin to saying, like, look, dude, when we pay taxes, right? We pay taxes based on you make this amount of money, which puts you in a higher tax bracket, which means you're responsible for contributing more to the pot, right? And then these people who don't make as much money, obviously we can't ask them for this money because they're not making the money. What's the difference?
So here's the thing. If we remove, let's pretend we're aliens, right? And we're observing this thing. And we say, okay, well, here's why this group is doing this here, right? $5 to get in, $10 for the white people to get in.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you said is completely valid. I totally get that and understand that. So then they're going to say, here, why don't they just make it $5 for everybody, right? Now, I'm not defending. I'm just going through the motions of this thing, right? So I say, okay, they can do whatever they want, and that's fine. I actually don't care. You know, but the thing is, what I do care about is bad people doing it too. They're like, hey, we're going to have this activity, but if you're black, guess what, homie? It's going to be like $15 more for you and your family. They're like, what the fuck? That's racist. Well, no, it's not racist. Over here, they do that as well. We just implemented that act. Now, I don't think it's right either way. I think it's right to make it affordable for people, yes. Yeah. But let's not open up any doors for people, bad people. It's like creating a weapon to protect yourself, and then the bad person gets a hold of it too, and then it fucks over people.
I understand, but
you know what I mean? That's just weird.
It doesn't have to extend beyond. I mean, there are a lot of festivals that happen all the time at this point. A lot of fucking festivals. This is one particular festival that's aimed at African Americans.
Right.
And they're saying, for fucking one time in the canon of American history, we're going to make it easier for black people and a little tougher for white folks.
Wait, and that's, like, for me, I don't care. That's fine.
I feel like, is it okay to receive one blessing and go, look, it's not that serious. We can afford $20. Here's the thing, like, I have a problem when, like, the burden of ethics and proper morality, it always seems to fall on the person who's most disenfranchised. Why aren't you guys being totally, no, everything should be transparent, and why are you doing this? Hey, dude, that shit has been done to us forever.
It's been happening.
And we've just had to take it.
It's been happening forever, by the way. Just like, as far like you said, like music festivals in general, not your average Joe is not going to be able to afford to go to Coachella or something.
Right.
That's like thousands of dollars. You know, that for multiple, like your average Joe can't find that, can't scrounge with the money to go enjoy that. And that doesn't even just go for music festivals. The average Joe can't afford to go to Disney Concert Hall and go watch Gustav Dudamel fucking do his thing there, which sucks, because that's another part. That's another way of keeping the arts non-equitable and keeping colored people of color out of the arts, because they're like. And that's why people always foo-foo the arts, because they're like, oh, fuck all. It's because they've never even got granted access to it. You know what I mean? Like, they've never had the opportunity to go enjoy that stuff.
Obviously, there's no overt marketing, but the art culture in general has always marketed itself as above or
exactly, like
of elite. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, just even tying that, okay, hold on, before I do that part. I think that, for sure, the idea is correct for that. Like, I get what they're doing. They're trying to make the arts available for all. But increasing it for one race is doing the reverse of what they're actually trying to do. Like, I feel like it's in imposing a tariff on someone based on their color of their skin. That in and of itself is racism. So at its core, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it, is what I'm gonna say. I don't know how to do it, and part of me is like, that's funny.
Well, but how do you do it?
But it's not. I don't know.
How do you do it? How do you make it?
I get what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah, but see, like,
I have an answer.
I just feel like, and the funny thing is just, we're saying race.
I don't have an answer. Sorry, I have.
Is it just because it's white people? Should it be people of a certain? I mean, should they do background checks to make sure?
I was going to say, can we see a statement?
To make sure what people are making.
Bring a pay stub.
Yeah. So should we look? Okay, well, you obviously make enough money that you should be charged a little more than these people who are making less. Because, like I said, in terms of like taxes paid, this class thing happens all the time, where we're saying you pay less, you pay more because you're able to pay more. You obviously can't pay more. But that's not linear.
But you know what? That's assuming, right, that every single white person.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe,
and don't get me wrong. Believe me, I have no problem with what they're doing. I don't give a shit. what I'm worried about is the repercussions, the ripple effect that it will have with ill-minded individuals that will take advantage of that and say, hey, well, they do it. Like, for me, dude, if I know that it's this thing or whatever, like, and I'm okay, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. Yeah, all right, cool. I completely understand it. And I'm not even like fighting against it. I'm just like, oh shit, like, but what are the repercussions?
I'm going to be honest as well. I believe that, because there's a lot. I mean, you have like this Afrofuture, and then you have the Afro Punk Festival, which I think is usually held in like Brooklyn and those areas. And I will be honest in saying that I do believe that there's more to this than it just being equitable treatment, across the board.
Yeah, community, right?
I think there's a part of it where you go, you guys have done this to us for such a long time, and now we're having this new generation with new entrepreneurs and businessmen and business groups who are primarily people of color who are able to put on festivals like this, and we're now taking back some of that energy. All of the times where we may have felt disenfranchised or looked at as second, now we've created a space and an environment where we can dictate, well, no, we're first now, and anybody who's not us is second. Now, how does that feel exactly? I do believe there's a part of there's a energy within this of, let's see how it feels when that shoe is on that other foot, and we don't really give a fuck. I mean, obviously there's a backlash that came from this, and so they've retracted a lot of these things but I think initially this was a little bit of a like kind of a nah. Like,
to me, it's almost like too petty, though. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely there's pettiness to it.
You know what I mean? Because it's like slavery and you're paying $10 more for a ticket. Like
they don't really equal.
They don't equal each other. Which, okay, well, here's I have two actually segues after that. One is that, speaking of making the arts equitable, Shia LaBeouf, did you hear about it? He's opening up like a free theater at Slauson Rec Center in LA.
What?
Yeah, every Saturday you can go there and you can participate in like a theater acting class for free.
That's cool.
Yeah, that like
Is it only available to young
anyone,
adults?
available to anyone.
I will go in there and wreck shop.
Available to anyone. You could go there, and I just thought that was kind of cool because he was talking
I
about.
don't even
like,
know where the fucking Slauson Rec Center is.
That's dope.
Never heard of it.
It's near your place. It's not far from from where you live. And I thought that was kind of cool because he was talking about. I saw this interview. It was on Vice, and he was basically just like, oh, like a lot of the people down here don't have access to anything that is even considered the arts.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them to shit on it because they've never really experienced it and what the art is and what it has to offer to enrich your life further. Because people think the arts are irrelevant. There's less and less of arts in schools. Yeah. But he's just kind of trying to put emphasis on the importance of bringing arts, especially to kids in like a disenfranchised area or kids who grew up in poverty. Art might be that one outlet that can keep them on the brink of sanity. So I thought that was kind of cool that he was bringing that to a place straight up in the hood. Well,
there's always been an awareness and an appreciation for art, but I think not in the form and fashion that he's trying to bring it, which is the highest tier, highest quality. Yeah. Obviously,
theater acting.
Yeah, we have things. You have fucking graffiti art going on in the hood.
Right.
You have hip hop that's always. It's basically been structured and cultivated in urban areas and shit like that. You have those things, but yeah, he's trying to bring. You'll have fucking, I don't know, like, what would you even call what? I'm trying to think of an award. What's an award ceremony for actors? What do they receive?
The Oscars.
Golden Globes.
He's trying to have a couple Oscar-nominated, actors come out of the hood, which would be great.
Yeah,
you might even because he's digging in areas that Hollywood is not looking at,
right? Yeah.
And those people probably aren't looking for it either until they just happen to find it. How cool would that be? You're like, Shia LaBeouf's here near my house,
and plus it's like,
hey, it's that dude from Transformers.
Yeah,
that's all you know about.
Malcolm in the middle. Yeah, no, that's not.
You get individuals and you're able to change their mind, right, or their perception of the world, which would be really nice.
Introducing art to people is something sacred for sure.
You people who get into anything that they're like really into, like jiu-jitsu or like acting or music. Or
that's something I'd like to see more of a presence of, like in urban areas, is jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I mean, just structured martial arts in general, structured martial arts that aren't just teaching people how to beat the shit out of each other.
We got. Remember I was telling you, we have an instructor comes over and he has his own school.
You were telling me about this in the Crenshaw area, right?
Crenshaw area,
or something like that.
Yeah, he trains like the Fruit of Islam, like the soldiers or whatever too. And so one of his dudes will come over every once in a while, and this dude is like, you could tell he's like from the hood, right? He comes in, he's got his hair's all braided, right? So it's funny. He came in, his hair was all braided up.
Yeah.
And he had little black rubber bands on that shit. By the time he was done rolling, there's fucking little rubber bands all over the mat.
Yeah.
And this dude was like, holy fuck. He was like, because we were doing Nogi.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw one originally and I was like, I didn't know how to, I'd be like, hey, is this yours? I didn't know what to say. And I was like, hey, bro, I think this is yours. He goes, oh, yeah. But then I looked and they were fucking everywhere. Shits are popping off everywhere. But, man, it would be good to have that because, man, it just brings up discipline for anybody. You know what I mean? Anybody that's like wants to set goals in life. Anyone who just wants to relieve some stress or some pressure. You know what I mean?
Really good.
There's already so much aggressiveness, hostility, and fight energy in urban areas as it is anyway. It would probably be beneficial to direct that energy in the proper system and environment so that it doesn't spill over into something that ends up netting these people jail time or, it seems like the perfect place to find a bunch of jujitsu whizzes who nobody is even thinking
Well,
about.
look, here, at least all of them are going to start off with a fantastic athletic base. They're not going to be like that. Look how jiu-jitsu changed me. I lost something. No, they're already fucking all fit. They're already all fucking dieseled out and shit. Yeah.
Dude, the worst thing jiu-jitsu could ever do is start to move to the islands. Those motherfuckers, they already come with six packs, like literally.
They're born with the six pack.
I seen like 6-year-old dudes like ripped up walking around. I was like, how's that even possible, dude? That didn't even make sense.
Yeah.
I had this thought like right before we got here because you were talking about like it's a little bit of a ha-ha to the white folks for having to pay a little extra.
Right.
All right. I'll say, can white people make up for slavery by they themselves going through 400 years of slavery starting tomorrow?
They'd be terrible at it. Right?
That would never happen.
No, I know it wouldn't happen.
I just don't. I don't think this is gonna sound fucked up.
Coming as a white dude, I would say we'd be terrible at being a slave.
I don't think they're strong enough to deal with that shit.
They're not.
I think you would get 2 years. They would be extinct.
Well,
I'm like you only have 398 years to go.
Well, the Jewish weren't
And
the
then
Jewish
after that,
people
though-
slaves as well?
Yeah,
to
but
the Egyptians.
Probably.
Okay.
But I'm all right. My whole thing was like at the end, I just imagine like one
don't know.
tired ass white
Yeah.
dude. He's like, the debt is paid, and then that's it. You forget about it. You get to do all the inhumane shit. Imagine you have a house cracker. You like
A house
like
cracker.
shit. You have a white guy who stays inside, and he looks down on all the whites on the outside, and he makes them feel bad.
The thing that's fucked up is that I don't think you could ever flip the tables. People like to paint black people as cold and and they care less about the suffering of others. If anything, the average black person is quite the opposite. We're so steeped in fucking Christianity and all of these like these fucking moral things that weigh us down every day. I think there's no way you could have a black slave master who's just looking at white people be beaten and raped and subjugated, and he would be able to do this on a fucking
I think you're right.
on a concurrent basis, for years and years and years. At a certain point, his wife would be like, Henry, why the hell you treating them white folks like that? Like she would get into his ear,
Right.
and everybody knows that for the most part, 40 and above black women are some of the most compassionate fucking individuals this world has ever known.
Right.
At a certain point, they would go, look, this just isn't right.
You know what? Yeah, just like the fact that the people had the stomach to do what they did is
It's
fucking
disgusting.
That's what's crazy.
I can't even believe that, man.
Yeah. Let's throw these black babies into the water and let them get eaten by crocodiles.
and then they end up swimming
that
and they
is-
get out with six packs.
Yeah.
Not today.
That's why I love these little Negroes.
That's the hard thing to think about, is to think about seeing that day in and day out and being okay with that.
Being totally fine with it.
Have you ever seen when they would lynch and set on fire black folks, take a photo of it,
Yeah.
post it on a fucking postcard,
Yeah.
and then they would send this around
Wish
the
you were
world to
here.
their friends? Wish you were here.
Yeah, I've seen. They're fucking
What type
disgusting.
of fucking psychotic
Psychopath.
individual do you have to be to do things like that?
You know, it was
real
the
fucking sick.
It was the heyday for fucking sociopaths, right? Because they could have an excuse to kill.
Well, that's what pisses me off is because like when white people are like, oh, you need to get over it, like slavery. I was in slavery, but it's like if there was only a way to. Okay, so there's like there's an episode of Star Trek Next Generation where Picard has to live another life. He goes into like what appears to be a coma on the ship, but it's like an entity took him and brought him, and he lived an entire life. And
As that entity?
No. He went to another. He was like on another planet.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm such and such person. Like, no, you're not. Dude. Eventually, he had to just succumb to the life there. He
Yeah.
got married. He had kids.
Yeah.
He had grandkids. And when he died on his deathbed, when he's like in his late 80s or early 90s, he wakes up and he's back on the fucking ship.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
And he lived a fucking full life.
Yeah.
Realizing in his head, like, I used to be a captain of a
ship.
starship.
Yeah.
In my past life, but I'm never getting it back. They don't know what's going on. I just lived this life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if there was only a way to send people back in time and be like, now you're the fucking slave.
Right.
And not only are you the slave, your kids are going to be slaves.
Right.
And their kids are going to be slaves. And their kids are going to be slaves. And anything that I want to subjugate them to the most vile things you could think of, it's on the table.
But here's the funny thing, to bring it back to
How can you not empathize with that?
fucking
No,
weird.
let's bring it back to our initial topic, though.
Right.
everything that you said at the end of it, the problem with it is that you have one group of people, because of something they can't change, which is their color or whatever, they're being treated terribly, right?
Yeah.
Much different than these other people, right?
Yeah.
Now, we have that situation
Mm-hmm.
where the tables are being turned, and it's not, obviously it's not a historical turn, where you go, okay, for a long extended period of time, they're being treated as if they were Africans or African Americans.
Right.
But just for this instance, you go, well, this is how it felt. They can't even get past this one instance.
No.
Right.
It's one fucking instance. And they're up and, oh my God, how dare you treat white people any differently than anybody else? One fucking instance. And that's where I'm coming from, where I'm going.
Yeah.
If the idea is that, for the most part, let's think about it like we do to the Askren Jorge Masvidal. That shit just happened.
Right.
Askren got fucking blasted in the face, right?
Uh-huh.
When MMA fans look at that, like, why did they feel the way they felt about, they felt pretty like good about Askren being fucking kneed in the face like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people felt good about it. But why did they feel good about it? They felt good about it because Askren talked a lot of shit. He was kind of fucked up to this dude. He said a lot of stuff. He assumed that he was going to run through him. He assumed that Masvidal was less than him. And then he got his comeuppance, right?
I think that's kind of what's great about combat sports also is it's the great equalizer, if not in the arena of like academics, it's the opposite of that, where it's like, this is just two men and two men hashing it out the way men do. And if anything, it shows you that like people of color, they're the fucking superior people, like physically.
Well,
there's no like if you think about any combat sports, mostly people of color dominate them. And if you look at basketball, look at football.
Oh wow!
Look at
okay, so you said people of color, because then I was going to say, no, you're right. Because if it's not if it's not black,
what other people have predominantly ruled everything athletic in any kind of athletic venture?
It's been black and Latin, black and Mexican for the most part, especially in combat sports. It's always been black.
So
and
it's
Mexican.
like you can subjugate the fuck out of it, but in the end, we still got the edge in that.
Unless you're Russian.
Even the Russians. Vladimir Klitschko, he was only so good for so long, and that was it. How many more black champions have there been?
Not in comp. They do well in wrestling.
Yeah,
but in combat sports, it's always either black or Mexican.
Yeah. What's his name in boxing, right?
Some Cuban, Puerto Rican. You have a lot of fucking great Cuban
those are still people of color as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, bunch of great Cuban boxers. A lot of Puerto Rican fucking boxers.
A lot of Mexican boxers,
Well, we're on a fantastic race train right now, too. Let me just jump into the next one. Disney Cable Channel defends casting black actress as new Little Mermaid.
I saw that.
I know Sarah was sad
a lot
about
of people
this.
had a problem.
She was like, a black mermaid? I was
like,
wow.
So we talked. So Ruth and I talked about this, and I was like, well, if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, a mermaid really wouldn't have any sort of pigment. They'd be kind of translucent in their skin.
If you really, really want to get into the nitty gritty, black people don't like the water.
Yeah, there you go.
Can I get a clap? My black friend clapped. It wasn't racist.
We don't.
Well, that's why you'll be at the beach and dudes will be fully dressed.
All those babies drowning with fucking alligators.
Oh my God.
Nope, not again.
No.
Yeah,
crossing the ocean, never.
No, never again.
Never again.
Middle Passage ruined it for everybody.
I'm always when I see things like that, I'm like, do they have to recast? Like, I feel like the
But then also, why not?
Here's my thing. Why I say why? Because I'm like, this is really just my main thing. Disney isn't doing it because they love you as a black person.
Yeah. That's a real
They're doing it for the shot value of it.
They're doing it to get you in to buy the money. It's marketing.
It's marketing.
It's just marketing. So and I was, what did someone say today? They're like, oh yeah, Walt Disney doesn't
blame
really
fucking Will Smith. He started that shit with Wild Wild West. Remember? Because that initial guy was white, and then they made him black, and everybody was like, oh my God, why? Why would you? And it seemed like that became a tactic. Oh, holy shit. Okay, well, let's take a typical white character, make him black.
Yeah.
And then we'll draw in the white crowd who was probably a fan of this franchise prior, because they want to see how shitty it's going to be with a black lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they go to see it just to be like, I didn't like it. And then you also get black people because they're like, cool, we get to see one of us on screen.
Right.
So you cover both bases.
What about when
This girl is fucking beautiful too, by the way. She'd make a good little mermaid.
Aren't all black chicks beautiful now?
They are. You're right. You know what? All black women are beautiful. This is slow clap for black women.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying millennial black girls are fucking gorgeous now, especially because they have.
They're all gorgeous.
They're all mixed and everything and shit.
Yeah.
Like
They're all
everybody's
mixed, and they have so much emphasis on cosmetics and like nails and shit.
Yes.
They're always done up. They take out. It's crazy.
What about these movies that are coming out that were predominantly like an Asian lead and they cast white people for them?
You talking about like anime movies, like Evangelion or whatever?
Nope, the Notebook, right? It's not the Notebook.
The Notebook. Didn't they do Ghost in the Shell? Wasn't she?
Ghost in the Shell.
I said Evangelion. I meant Ghost in the Shell.
What's the one?
It's a dope movie, by the way.
Where
It wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was pretty cool. I would have.
you read a name? You read a name down
The Notebook.
The Notebook. It is the
You're talking
Notebook.
about Death Note.
Death Note.
But Notebook. They shouldn't have made that into a live action anime. The anime was fucking amazing.
It was awesome.
But
Anime was
they
fucking
didn't even
really
need
cool.
They didn't even need to make
Yeah.
that. But yeah, no. And I was like, it's so funny. Like Disney had such a rich culture in shitting on black people that people fucking forgot about. He fucking didn't like black people. He hated the fucking Jews. Oh, but now it's like no, we're inclusive
but,
now. Let's
I
make
mean,
black everything.
But that's something that, a lot of fucking black, like, I don't know, pro-black people of prominence have always said that the fucked up thing about black people is that we conveniently forget a history of like just shittiness as soon as like dollars start waving.
Okay.
As soon as somebody goes, hey, we'll pay you.
Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, cool. I'll do the chicken commercial.
What
Yeah.
about how about the integration of like other races into hip hop and stuff like that? I think the
What do you mean by like, do I have a problem with it?
No. I'm thinking like we have way more white rappers now, right? Or whatever. We got people that
Not
are
really.
Lil Xan.
Not really. We have way more white rappers that are mainstream and are pushed.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So here's the thing. So is it better? I mean, here's the thing. I think that two things bring cultures together, right? Which is music and sports, right? So like, is it something that can be done to where it's like there is the common interest that can start to create, like, kind of take barriers down so that, people can start to forget about like, well, that dude's black. Instead of saying like, hey, I walked in and there's some black dude standing there. Hey, I walked in, there's some dude standing there and he said this and that. You know what I mean? Like where things start to kind of like.
There's so many.
Wait, I lost
there's so
the
many.
question.
No,
Sorry.
but I get what he's saying. But there's so many tiers to that type of bias.
Yeah.
You would have to go through so many different like. It's contextual. Like if I walk in. Remember how we were saying, like early when we fucking started this podcast, we were saying it's much easier for the average white person to hang around maybe a more, I'm going to say quote fingers, whitewashed black person that maybe has grown up in the same like area that they've grown up, has the same financial ability that their parents may have, so they share the same common interests.
Right.
It's a lot easier for a white person to get along with that dude and walk into like the average room and say, oh, he's not a black person, that's just him.
Right.
Than it is for the average white person to walk into the black room and see fucking like James Brown, like when he was just grimy ass James Brown, and go, yeah, I don't know about that dude. Like
right.
that's a little too, and it's because more than it just being like about people and individuals and only seeing them as individuals, it's also like an energy and a tone. When you walk into a room, you can tell a person who has gone to private school versus a person who goes to public school. You can kind of feel it. So
it's also, it's not, it color's the obvious thing, right? But if you really take color away, it is the energy that people give off, that link.
Or it's just a class.
Right, well, that link, link together. Not, I'm not saying good or bad energy, but like I vibe with that person. Like we link up and remove all like a race thing. But
I'm saying even vibe, even that's colored by But even vibe is colored by the idea of like, I think I would get along with that person. You don't know, but I'm pretty sure all three of us have probably seen a person across the room in our lives and figured, and just figured like, I probably wouldn't get along with that person.
Right. Okay.
And we never engaged in any like formal contact with that person that would either like
probably true.
That would either dissuade like that initial assessment or like be like, oh, okay, no, well, I totally get along with that person. We just walked away and they went about their lives and you probably never see that person again. But I'm saying that for the most part, human beings in general, you just gravitate toward people even visually that you go, I think I will get along with that person.
It's also a biological response, which I think scientists have already covered that before, that like people of one color tend to stay with one color. It's like a preservation kind of response,
Well, that the thing is too,
and
like,
go ahead.
Just
to finish that up, is like a lot of times I feel like people don't think that they'll have anything in common with you. You know what I mean? Like they're like, well, I'm white and he's black. What could we have in common? It's like, fuck, dude, there's so many things, dude. There's so many things.
And the funny thing, like, especially for me, I'm in an interesting position because visually a person could look at me and go, oh, he probably might have went to a cool school.
Probably killed someone.
And then when they talk to me, everybody who I meet, like, in urban areas usually says, like, initially, like, my initial assessment of you was that we probably wouldn't get along because you probably grew up somewhere else, or they just assume I didn't grow up in the hood.
Right.
And then when they speak to me,
when they catch a two-piece, then they know.
And then when they speak to me, it'll be like, oh, okay, this dude obviously might follow some current events, which doesn't make him a dumb individual.
Right.
But then he'll throw a nigga in there every now and then.
A little flavor.
Yeah, he'll throw
a little seasoning on the conversation.
Like he'll throw a nigga in there every now and then. Or, obviously black folks aren't fantastic with our grammar all the time. So they'll catch that and then they go, oh, that's fucking cool because there's two sides of the coin being played and I'm cool with that. But for the most part, dude, that's not always happening. Like that type of, I have to get close to people for them to understand that I'm not what they initially thought me to be.
Right.
That's probably happening, you would say, maybe 10% of the time with human beings. Human beings are going to gravitate toward what they think is the, like, least path of resistance.
Of course,
and
totally.
That's going to be the path that they're always going to take 100% of the time.
But for sure, most people, I think because us three sitting in here right now, me being, like, I'm half white, half Mexican, but, like, predominantly raised white.
You're like my nephews, basically. They're half white, half Mexican. I'm like, you guys are white. They just look like white kids. They have blue eyes.
My white side of the family, they're all from like the South, from Mississippi, and my mom was not born in the South. She was born in Arizona. And I don't know. I was raised like, I didn't even know what like racism was really. The way I was raised, like I had friends of all colors. But he knows now. But I know now, and
he utilizes it so well.
And my hate runs so deep. My wife is half black, and I hate that part.
You're gonna divorce her like Clayton Bigsby.
What? Yeah,
she was a nigger lover.
God damn it. I can't say it, so I'll let you. That's the best part of the whole fucking skit. Is horrible.
But yeah, it is. So like when I first met you guys, like not even.
You're like, who are these two colored clowns?
Look at these colored folk over here. Like I was
you were lucky because here's why I say
true.
You
could have met any black guy, any brown guy.
But here's why you were lucky is because me and P shared. I mean, when I first met P was. He was doing the FAT shit like that. It was like ownership of going like, I'm fat.
Right.
Yeah. And also ownership, P knows what it's like to be devalued or maybe not looked upon as, one would like themselves to be looked upon. 100% like, I understand you, I get you, I embrace you. So since he knows a sliver of that, and I definitely know that because I grew up around all fucking thug dudes. I was the different guy. So they look at them, they look at me, and they go, that dude is different than you fucking guys. I don't know about that dude.
And in the hood, that's like weakness. They're like, now to attack that guy.
So even even us being receptive to you initially speaking to us,
Right.
that was colored by our past of being like, we never want to make a person feel like ostracized because we know what that feels like.
Well, here's the other thing. The other thing is too is that I think that if I didn't come with a certain energy and this wasn't a conscious thing,
totally.
You guys would be like, I ain't hanging out with that guy. I know you guys. You guys be like, I'm not hanging out with that dude.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, for me being
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Because it was all love.
It was like overwhelmingly
It was all
positive.
love. Yeah.
me growing up.
So much so it made us very skeptical.
You were skeptical initially. You were like, who the fuck is
Like,
this?
we're going to end up in the desert.
Because I grew up in my neighborhood. I mean, all my friends were either, gangsters or like graffiti artists, and I grew up in I went to a school where like there were no real like segregated groups. I mean, there was a group of black people that hung out together, but they were small, and then there was a bunch of black people just hung out with whoever.
Was it a small group or just small black people?
They're a group of
midget black
Yeah,
people.
they're like you didn't even know they were there until like you walked into them. You know what I'm saying? They're little. But like my school, I got lucky in the sense to where the school I went to, there wasn't like a race thing. People. Yeah. So when I left that school and I went to a school closer to the house that we moved into, it was very segregated. Like willingly, the Mexicans hung out with the Mexicans, the black hung out with the whites and the whites.
A mini fucking prison.
Yeah, and
San Quentin.
The jocks hung out with the jocks, and I was like, "This is fucking weird."
Yeah. It is strange. It's totally
left.
strange.
I was like, "I'm not staying here because it's making me feel uncomfortable, and it makes me feel a certain way about this."
Yeah.
So I went back, but so like for me, it was odd to even come up against the thing to where like, I don't know, it's just like the idea of not having friends of all sorts, like I didn't give a fuck. I saw like, I literally saw like a person, you know what I mean? Like that dude's cool or that dude's a fucking dick. I don't know, like, so.
I can almost say that's like, might almost be like the single most what's it called? Like altering factor to your biases, to your like internal biases is that if you grow up around a lot of people of any kind of mixed races, you tend to not have those harsh criticisms that
needs to be there.
It almost needs to be present because if you're only exposed to one people, then you're like really freaked out by it.
It's funny. I was largely only exposed to one type of person. I always say the only reason I think I was kind of okay was that I went to private school until I was like in 4th grade. Yeah. So you see it's still kids in the hood whose parents had a little bit of like extra auxiliary income that allowed their kids to be put into a private school, but this private school was still in the hood or whatever.
Right.
But aside from that, I remember once I went to West Covina, and that was the first time I'd ever seen white people like that. I was just never around white people at all. I mean, especially where I grew up, there were none. And if you seen one, it was like seeing a fucking.
It is weird,
like a pink poodle. Like you're like, what the fuck is that shit?
So that's the thing. Like my mom, she lived in Seattle, and there was all white people there, right? And she was a little girl.
I think it still is.
Yeah. So, but she, in the area that she lived, like when she was little, I'm talking like 5 or 6, she was telling me this story. She was saying the first time she saw a black person, she screamed. And she ran away.
Imagine how as the parent you feel, you're like, I am so sorry. So fucking sorry. That does not reflect our parents.
Yeah. And
they're the people just looking at me
like when the fucking dog bites company.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
he never does this. He never does it.
So my mom was like, yeah,
why does he always do this?
And my mom was like, that's like a story that I have that's like so out of the realm of like who I am, but I was a kid and first time seeing a black person. And I get it because when I flew to China, we were in like a rural area of China when I had gone there. Dude, people were following us. We had a crowd of like 20 people following us where like the police had to come over and tell them to go away because they've never seen like white or any sort of ethnicity outside themselves before. And it's crazy.
It's a shock for them.
Crazy.
It's
culture.
Like when Justin Wren talks about like how he went to the ex UFC fighter went to help the pygmies.
Right?
Yeah. And they just wanted to touch his skin and his beard, and they're just totally marveling at this person.
Yeah. It's such a crazy thing, but I just think the arts of any sort in sports, man, they just need to everyone needs to get
People need
mixed
to just
together.
be exposed to things. That's all.
I think. Did you also see? I sent another link when it was like a Vlad TV.
I saw that. I didn't click on it though.
Little piece, but that was kind of in correspondence with the Afro Future thing. Well, it wasn't really, but I sent the two. But like in terms of what you were talking about now, the arts kind of like eradicating some of those like bias and those like skin preoccupations and things of that nature. There was like there's a YouTube employee who I guess he lived in some swanky apartment building complex, and there was a black gentleman who was standing outside. This black gentleman was waiting for.
I read the caption though.
Yeah, this black gentleman was waiting for his friend.
It's like the
a woman.
50th video of that kind too.
Yeah,
where someone
so
does that.
it was like a woman, but I guess the woman was she was like physically handicapped, but you don't see that.
The black woman? Is it a black woman?
I don't think it's a
No,
black
it's
woman.
not.
This is
It's a black male who's
Oh, I
getting,
see.
like-
I see.
But the man who had a problem with this black gentleman standing outside of his apartment building was a white gentleman. He was a YouTube employee, and he was with it looked like his adopted son because the son was like Asian.
brown or something. No, he was a little brown kid.
Okay. Well, so he's standing there with his son, and
Yeah.
his immediate reaction to the black gentleman is to say, "Well, I need you to call your friend on this intercom to verify that you're who you say you are." And the black guy is like, "Well, look, I'm not even trying to get into the apartment building. I'm waiting on my friend to come in, and she'll verify who I am, and we'll go about our business." And he's going, "Well, no, you're standing outside my apartment building, and I need you to verify who you are."
Oh, my God.
So, I guess so he could feel better about this random guy standing there. He felt he was suspect. So he calls the cops on this guy. While he's calling the cops on this guy, his fucking son seems a lot smarter than him because the son is going, "Look, Dad, this isn't worth it." Like he's like, I agree, because the black guy is saying, "Look, I don't have to, I don't have to let you know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Who are
yeah,
you?
yeah,
know?"
yeah.
And the little son's going, "Like, I agree. The
kid's trying to, like, disengage his
He's
dad
like, he's
from
like,
the
no, he's like,
situation.
"No, Dad, don't call him. Like, this is scary. Like, I'm scared.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do this." And so he continues to call the police, and basically, like, he's speaking to the police. The black gentleman that he's speaking to, he's amping up a bit because he's going, like, "Fuck you, man." He's like, I'm gonna record you. You're gonna be the next fucking guy on TV who's being an asshole to a black person because you feel, natively they're suspect,
Right,
and they're to be scared of. When it comes down to it, at the end of this whole video, sure enough, the woman who the black gentleman is waiting for, she walks up and she's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And he goes, "See, I fucking told you, asshole. This is the person that I'm waiting for, and
Right.
she lives in this building. So with fuck you." And then it kind of goes off,
Right, right.
And the way that I'm going to tie this into like the last segment that we were speaking about is that for a long time, me and PJ and you, we've wondered if largely racism is being eradicated with age. Which is
right.
like as the new generation is
Right.
coming up, they're becoming less structured with their fucking like sexual proclivities,
Sure.
with who they decide to associate with,
Right.
how they even associate themselves.
Right.
So we've always wondered, okay, is fucking racism in that level, in the level of bias which have been commonplace in the world, and especially in the United States, is it kind of being ushered out as young kids are growing up amongst each other?
Right.
More and more, and like just so many different races are growing up amongst each other.
Right, right.
And I always felt, I don't think so. I think it's something that's inherent in human beings that's always going to fucking
It's not
permeate.
even. It's more so that it's an inherent is that they're passing on those prejudices to the children.
Yeah.
Like that guy does, whether he knows it or not, was passing on the idea to his child to be suspect of a black person.
But see, yes, I think overtly. But if you watch the video, the little kid,
He knows what's up.
initially is going, "This is bullshit."
Right.
And that makes me feel that maybe there is hope that at a certain point, kids in general are going to go, this is fucking nonsense.
Yes, I hope so. Because like, and this whole conversation isn't about like, oh, bad white people or oh, this and that. It's just like a topic that seems to be going on, and it's ugly, and it has to be. We have to talk about it, and it's things like that. So it's like, I do believe like what you just said is like true. Like evolving as people, and over time, hopefully we can dull out racism. I don't think it will ever all like 100% go away, but at least, because like you have these beautiful babies being born, you got Asian and black mix, you got like Mexican black mix or Asian and Mexican, like, and these beautiful people are being born with their beautiful minds because now they're able to like relate to mom and dad, this side of the family, this side of the family. They're being educated. They're, over time, I think that something will come out of that for sure, So
I just hope there's still dark-skinned people.
There will be
in the future,
because
it seems like they're largely at the fucking like point of being extinct.
Well,
they're in jeopardy of being extinct.
There'll be a lot of brown people in the world because of the mixing of ethnicities or races, and it's gonna happen. It's whether you like it or not, it's gonna happen. Ruth's dad talks about this all the time. Very smart man. He's like, pretty soon everyone's gonna look like you, Ruth. Like talking about my wife. And that's true, but you know what? These things happen for a reason, though. Whatever it may be, maybe it's nature working its way, or who knows? Just like who knows why life does things? I
just don't like that. I don't believe like is homogeny a word?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
I don't believe that's the way. I believe that's the easiest way. It's the one that makes the most sense. And like you said, I think you're right in saying that, like, biologically in nature in general is trying its best to like blend.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, you guys are all the fucking same, so nobody is looked at differently. But that is a form of racism.
Well, we need less John Mayers out there and less discerning tastes.
Well, how about this? The way you can also look at it is this. They now find that polar bears are mating with grizzlies.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so like
desperation. They're like, get us out of this fucking ice hell.
So what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen is that we're gonna have this new species of bear, right? That's gonna be commonplace.
Polar grizzly.
As the world,
it just sounded bad.
As the world starts to heat up and the polar ice caps start to go away,
they're like, we have no place to live.
DNA finds a way to thrive, right? DNA is like an alien, right? To me, like DNA will make us do things that we didn't know we were supposed to do.
What about RNA? What do you think about that?
I don't know anything about RNA.
Okay. But do you think DNA is making us fucking make mixed babies? I don't know if that's
it's our dicks that are having us make babies.
I think it's still the whitewashing of society.
I have a mixed baby.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, let's think about it. When you think about having mixed children, do you think, let's just be fair, when you go, I can have, it's weird saying purely black because nobody's really purely black, but I'm going to have as close to the idea of American black as possible, so I can have that, or I can have a little mixed girl. Which one has the favorable position in society if I could choose?
Right. The mixed girl, right? Yeah.
So there's a lot of black dudes out there who go, yeah, why don't I fucking like fuck with this Latina girl?
Right.
I'm gonna get a little fucking beautiful. Like the odds are, I'm gonna get a little beautiful mixed girl. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little beautiful mixed girl. She's gonna have some dope ass hair. Everybody's gonna treat her fucking nice.
Right.
She's gonna have less of a problem in this world.
Right.
People are gonna, they're gonna look at her closer, especially white folks who, for the most part, people say they're in power, but Jewish people are in power. There's some white folks that are in power. There's some fucking Indians who are in power. There's a lot of people, but it's like the lighter you are, it just seems like the more accepted you are in this society. That's just what it's always been, and it's across the board. So
it is across the board. It's in Latino culture, black culture.
But you go, where does it come from though? At the core, it still comes from a lot of these ideals that were born out of like slavery, which is that the lighter you are or the closer to me you are, the more accepted you'll be.
Do you think that it's also where there's the white people who are like, I love black men. I'm trying to make my kids darker.
Like Lisa Lampanelli? I don't know, maybe.
Who does that though? No, I'm saying
No,
there are some women who like dark skinned men.
I'm just fucking around.
White women for the most part don't fuck with like dark skinned men like that. For the most part.
I just said Lisa Lampanelli. They're out there.
Lisa Lampanelli don't even fuck with black dudes.
Yes, she does.
What about Filipinos?
She didn't fuck with black dudes. Because if I'm not mistaken, her and Patrice used to have problems because he would rib her about that. You talk all this shit about black dudes, you don't even fuck with black dudes like that.
He doesn't know.
Oh, right.
Steve, you're going to have to deal with some future, like racism via your daughter, like that you won't even fucking know. Like,
I'm going to be honest.
You're gonna hear
I
some
hope
shit.
you're black.
It's going to make you uncomfortable. People are like, oh my God, your girl's hair, it's so cute. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
But he's not going to even think twice about that. I don't think he's going to think
You will.
that's a form of racism,
You
which
will.
it is.
It'll make you uncomfortable because that's how black people have to deal with when people are like, oh my God. Like when people make comments, I don't think they know how to compliment it or they feel like they have to compliment it. But like hearing it, when I hear people say it, I think of that person. I'm like, I'd feel awkward.
Yeah.
I don't think they do though.
You know,
I mean, because it's meant as a gesture, even though it is the equivalent. Like the inference is that there's so many nappy-headed black people out there, and you're not one of them. That's the inference at its core. But I don't think people.
Do you think there's people that truly think it's cool looking hair though?
No, but here's what I'm saying.
Sounds so funny.
Why,
hey, cool looking hair, bro.
But why is it cool looking hair? Why is
why?
Why
What's
is
cool
it
about
preferred? Why is it preferred to any other type of hair?
I guess my thought process would be one is different, right? So that's the thing is different, but also like
It's not typically black.
But at the same time though, like
That's exactly why it's cool.
no, because I think also that something could be different, but people are like, I don't know about that. It's different, you know what I mean? But like people want that hair. People want that hair. You get like Latinas, you got white people. They're all trying to get this fucking hair. It was like a thing where I got this curly hair, blah blah blah. It might just be beautiful hair. You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
Yeah, but you're talking about beautiful hair. Like all of these ideas of beauty and what's better than other things, we created this shit. But then you have to find out, why did we create this is number 1 type of hair, this is number 10 type of hair. We only created this shit because, I mean, like there's racial undertones to all of this stuff. Okay, black people have curl. Here's what I'm saying. Like everything can be flipped. Let's say your favorite color is what?
I don't have a favorite.
You have a favorite?
No.
PJ, your favorite color is what?
Black.
Your favorite color is black. Your favorite color could have easily been fucking any other color, right?
I chose the same color as my heart.
But it could have been any other color, like anything, everything.
We're all black right now.
Everything that we see as good and cool could have easily been the opposite. Like wearing a fucking shirt could have not been the norm. They'd have been like, why the fuck is this dude wearing a fucking shirt? Like, this nigga, he's just some weird shit. Why has he got a fucking shirt?
Actually, I'm like
over
Steve.
it?
I really don't. I have multiple colors that I really enjoy.
So what I'm saying is that everything we've decided, we've gone, that's what is cool, or that's what I like, or that's what should be done versus what shouldn't be done.
Okay.
So if we've dictated that, for when you say good hair could have been the fucking Ethiopian kid with the fucking really tight curls. Could have just as easily been that kid. But it wasn't.
Okay.
And you think that's just a coincidence that it wasn't a little Ethiopian kid with the fucking what's considered nappier hair or coarser form of hair? It's that they looked at that kid and was like, "Ew, gross."
It's different than mine.
Yeah, it's different than mine. And then when you see the mixed black girl and her hair, it still has kind of the curls like the Ethiopian kid, but it's straight though. But you can see that it's kind of straight. Closer
Straight
to me,
like our overlords.
perfect. It's fucking perfect. You know?
Okay. Huh. Yeah.
Or maybe your kid won't have hair.
just like me.
Like father, like not me, daughter. Sorry, baby.
You know what?
Well, shit, even a bald head. A bald head could have been the preferential thing of like, oh man, I really fucking like your hair.
You know,
like that.
No, so you're right. What's fashionable, right? What seems like closely relatable to you, right? So that comes with anything in life, like you're saying. Yeah, it's like even in marketing, anything like that. If I want to get a sell on something, you have to be able to emotionally relate to it in order for you to attach yourself to it, right?
Yeah.
So there will be a certain point in time where, let's say that this mixing keeps going on, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's got hair like my wife.
Yeah.
It becomes the norm. Then at some point they're like, look at that kid over there with those tight curls.
You think so?
I think so. It's like fashion. It's like
It's an
fashion.
interesting idea.
Because like once something becomes the norm and something is oversaturated and people are desensitized to it, where there's no emotional spark.
They'll
you know,
always be like, that reminds me of black.
I'm in line.
You're right.
I'm in
I know
line
you
with what
are.
you're saying.
I know what
but maybe that's just because I'm
but
black.
but you know, then
He might be right.
Listen.
There is an argument.
I hope that that's the truth.
Right, I'm not saying it's a definite, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Just so
I don't want to see Indian virgin hair on every fucking corner by my house. You don't need it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I had the conversation, just a quick segue, at fucking jujitsu, where like, I think I might have told this before on the podcast, where the guy was talking about, he was a Filipino cat, and he was talking about some kind of beauty standards within Filipinos. And I said, dude, that's just bullshit from the fucking from the colonizers, man. Telling you that your fucking nose is ugly because it's white. Telling you that you're ugly because your skin is darker. That's fucking some other race's standards that they've put on you to make you think that shit ain't beautiful.
right. You know, and so
And to think it's anything.
Someone say preach.
To preach. To think it's anything less than that is
It's fucked up,
kind of
man.
like, man. I get what you're doing, Steve. Which you're playing advocate a little bit, and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying like, look, there's some wiggle room, and so there's other things that we need to think about.
Right.
Maybe it is truly, I just like your hair. But I think when you say something like that, you remember in art school where they would tell you like, nothing is created from a void. Like, you know, when they would ask us to critique our work, and we'd be like, I don't know, I just did it. And he was like, no, that's not sufficient, because everything is the manifestation of everything.
Of everything. Yeah.
You know, everything goes into why we decide X, Y, and Z, or why we like this or why we don't like that. So you can't just say, well, people just like this. No, you go, well, why do they like this?
can people say, I don't like this?
They can.
You can.
But then
I think people forever should have that right.
But in the same way, you have to atone for that. Like, you have to be able to say, well, this is why I don't like this thing. This thing. And if you're not able to explain that, or if the explanation isn't well formulated, then you should be able to. There should be somebody who goes, "That's bullshit."
So what formulated? And this is a real question.
Go ahead.
What formulated the idea way back in the day that blacks were less than, or I don't like that in a rational sense? And someone's like, I think you're right.
Well,
What do you think it was?
formulated that is that, you know, imagine us hundreds of years ago before we had hearts and empathy, and you come upon a race that you see as like, they are naive, they're not technologically advanced as you. They don't understand basic things like mathematics.
Right.
They don't. Already, you're like, I'm superior. I can do what I want with these people.
Well, here's the funny thing about that.
Well,
is that you say,
you're probably going to say what I'm about
no,
to say.
say it.
Yeah,
Say it. No, say it.
Say it in my face.
Say it.
Okay.
Yes, there were those people there, but there were also very wealthy, intelligent black people at the same time. So you have the Moors, right? You have the kings of Ethiopia.
There we go.
Right? You know, you got.
There we go. That's the thing, is that there was no. I mean, you got to think, during the time where racism and its fucking roots are being dug into this ground.
Well, then that would be like wealth grooming ignorance almost. You know what I
here's
mean?
the thing, is that you don't have
Regardless of race.
a lot of European fucking colonial presences who were traveling the world. They don't have the historical knowledge of these pyramids and this fucking great Ethiopian, but Egyptian culture and stuff like that, and going like, whoa, hold the fuck up. We're talking about superiority in a mathematical sense. I don't know if
they couldn't touch that.
I don't know if we can touch that. And then, like you say, you have the Moors who fucking went around and conquered all these things and fucking beat the shit out of all of these people in their own hoods, basically.
Yeah.
And and took over and stuff like that. But a lot of those things they're kind of like cut off pieces of history where they go like, that happened, but
we're not gonna talk about
let's
that.
not talk about that.
Right.
So then you have all of these people who travel the world, and then they start to create these ideas that they're less than because we just came across a fucking tribe of Africans.
Sure. Yeah, and I can totally see that. Totally see that. Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck about what this other shit in history. We just came across these motherfuckers who are living in huts.
Right.
They got spears, we got guns.
Right.
They got loincloths, we got fucking breeches and clothes and
I got
shoes.
pants.
Obviously, we're much smarter than them. Obviously,
put one leg in at a time.
Yeah.
A lot of that shit is
collars.
A lot of that shit is more just like it's environment, dude. Like, black people at that time just probably weren't preoccupied by the same things as the average Europeans.
I think it's just nature, right?
Yeah,
right? Like at its very, very base, it's nature. What nature does is it's a kill or be killed environment, and it's like if I can take something by force, I will.
Yeah. Right. And the thing is this. I've met a few people from like parts of Africa, right? Mm-hmm. And fucking very, like, to me, even as a kid, I was like, these guys are so innocent and naive, right? Fucking amazing people, super cool. So you can imagine that these tribes were all kind until they had to go to war with another whatever sort of thing. Yeah. But the same is true maybe with Native Americans. They're very kind to people until they were warring with each other.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And I could easily see them welcoming somebody in that might need something. And this is an ignorant thought, yes, because no, I wasn't there, but like I can imagine just by the things that I've like read about. So yes, it's very easy to take children and lead them into a van full of candy. You know what I mean? Because they don't know any better because they've never had the boogeyman come.
And by van, he means slave ship.
Slave ship.
Yeah.
Come on, but also Native Americans said that too. Like they're like, I think people have a misconception of like Native Americans be every single tribe of us. We're all just like, oh, we're sharing. This is our land. But he says some of those fucking tribes were
ruthless, fucking with the chair,
especially once they realized what the true intentions were of the colonial presences. They were like, okay, well, I was like that.
I would too. I would go fucking. I would strap up and go do my thing too.
So part of it's just being a human in that.
And I'm thinking like, we're talking about like largely in Africa where you're talking about when like the most like colonizing happened.
Yeah.
If like, we have the idea that, okay, white people just came over and they just started like beating the shit out of fucking Africans until they were like, oh my God, we submit.
Right.
From what I gathered, and I don't know a lot, but from that little history that I know, it was about business.
Right, it was about business.
When we come through, we weren't coming through, they didn't come through to kill motherfuckers. They came through like, oh shit, you guys got that slaves? You got that?
Slaves.
We could really use some of those
we could
in
take
America.
those.
And black people were enslaving or selling off own black people.
And then once you get these black slaves, you go, oh shit, well, they ain't shit anyway.
Right.
They're fucking...
Their own people saw them as less
they're
than.
weak cargo, they're what should I say? They're devalued, they're devalued cargo. So we'll do what the fuck we want to with them. We bought them, we own them, we've traded and bartered for them. Yeah. So now we can treat them how the fuck we want to.
And the mentality's there.
And then that's when it becomes, dude, we paid for these things.
Yes.
These are objects. We paid.
I fucking own this.
Yeah, these things aren't the same as those fucking kings that we paid for them. These are just fucking little things.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And then you bring them over here, and then you make a bunch of things that are devalued, and then it just carries on. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's a fucked up thing. In
the fucked up, even beyond it. I'm sorry, I know I've been speaking a lot during this. But beyond that, who were they speaking to? I was watching a Vlad TV segment with Rick Ross.
Okay.
And Vlad asked...
The original?
Yeah, the original Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Ricky Ross.
Okay.
But Vlad was asking him about the idea of Africans like looking down upon African Americans and feeling and people like with roots in history in Africa, you know, family history in Africa, looking down on African Americans and feeling like even African Americans don't belong to their lineage. Like, yeah, we're better than them. Like they're, you know, they're lost. Yeah, we're pure. They're lost or whatever. And Freeway Ricky, like he had a really like poignant like rebuttal to that, where he was saying, because the way it was phrased was that Vlad felt there was tension on both sides, and Freeway was like, well, there's no tension on the African American side. He just brilliant point. He was like, dude, people don't realize African Americans accept anybody. He was like, think about in our neighborhood. He was like, Asians come in, they open up businesses, we support. He was like, Latin folks come in, they open up businesses, we support.
Right.
We open up businesses, we won't fucking support. You know, he was like, black people open up businesses, nah, good. He was like, but everybody else, fine. He was like, anybody, like, we don't have a problem with anybody.
And what was his reasoning for that?
Well, what he was saying, like, the idea was that we definitely don't give a fuck about like Africans. Like, we don't have a problem with them. They have a problem with us because they feel like, you know, we're not as strong as them, you know, we're not as ready to die for our rights and shit as them. You know, so they largely feel that African Americans are fucking soft.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't even know where I was going with this. But
the thing is
Francis
that
Ngannou would concur.
You were talking about black supporting black, right? Like a black business opens up.
Yeah. But there was some. I was gonna make like a fucking like some cool ass correlation to what we were saying, and then I got so far off on it.
Here's what I was gonna say, and we
off soapbox,
and we've talked about it. We've talked about this sort of thing before. Anytime I was in a chat room on an Xbox playing a game, and there was a black dude in there, and then another black dude came in that didn't know that dude, for sure there's going to be a fucking 15-minute argument.
Yep.
And for sure someone's going to say, I own a house, what do you own? It always comes up. I own my house, what do you? You probably rent an apartment. And everybody else that's not black is confused. Like, why does that matter? Like, what are you talking about? Always. The years I played Xbox for years. I'm talking fucking 10 plus years. It always happened, and it's so much so that
it's not the friendliest of environments.
Yeah, so much so that when two black dudes, like I said, I was like, when is it gonna pop off? And one of these dudes was talking shit to each other. I'm like, if anything, you guys should. And then for sure, after they get their little fucking thing out, they're teaming up. All the time. And I'm like, oh, now they're friends. I'm like, this shit is a fucking formula. Weird. Always happens. I was like, how many games do we play till they become friends and they start talking shit to everybody else?
It's always an ego.
And it's thing. Fucking crazy. But
people in the hood grow up with a lot of fucking pride. So
an immense amount of pride.
So, but
that's a real thing. Like that weird energy.
It can propel you, and it can also like hinder you in ways.
Between black dudes, I mean, it's not just black dudes; it's black women as well. You know? Where they might meet each other, and I don't know, she seems like a bitch, you know. And then once she gets to know her, she's like, I love this bitch. Shaniqua cool as a motherfucker.
So this shit was deep, and then we could go on forever about it. Let's move on to another topic, though. Just
man,
black and white.
So
that was good though. That was good.
It was good because I like the coming around, you know what I mean, and connecting dots and shit. But so the other day, my wife and I were talking, and then she was telling me how her and her coworkers were talking about so I'm gonna bring this up, and we're gonna get our like silly shit out of the way, our like our shallow things out of the way, right? And then we'll get to the nitty gritty of it, right?
My mittens right now.
Yeah. So she was saying they believe her coworkers, all females.
Okay, got you.
That they want to know how would the world be different if men were the ones that gave birth?
Be better.
So like meaning like the roles were reversed, and I go, so what does that mean? I go, and I debated about it with her.
Abortion would be legal everywhere.
There'd be abortion clinics, drive-through abortion clinics.
Oh yeah,
punch me in the stomach, dog.
Stomach right now. Give me that fucking chin music.
They believe that they are who they are with their children because they carry them for 9 months and they're a part of it, and it's like possibly something that a man couldn't understand. Which fine, okay,
it's definitely something we can't understand.
Right. Yeah. So it's like I go, so what? So do you think it'd be different, or do you think I'd still be doing jiu-jitsu or like watching fights and stuff and like hanging? I mean, like obviously when endanger the child.
Yeah, of course I would.
Like I would just be still just me the way I am, except I just shit out a child at some point. Like she goes, no, I think that you'd be different. Like there'd be some. I was like, do you mean more feminine? Like, what do you mean different? Like, what do you tell me what you mean.
You're like, you watch your words, what you're saying now.
I was like, I'd be more feminine.
Get smacked.
And then like what females would be more masculine.
No, I don't think
I was like,
would reverse.
Is that how that would?
Is she saying that females would no longer give birth and it would be solely upon us to have the babies now?
Right. If that. So like in a very logical, like unbiased, like not coming from like a man's point of view, the best we can. Would the world be different if it was different? How
we
would
can't
it be?
give birth to baby physiologically.
Well, I know.
No, but yeah,
No, but I mean,
we're doing a hypothetical. Don't do that.
Yeah. Come on, PJ.
I can't.
Yeah,
push the baby out of my
we
pelvis.
got into a lot of talk about like
Where would it come out of?
What did
My
you
butt?
feel?
I
Did you feel it would be different? I think so.
it would have to be different for the
of
survival of the child, right? So like I don't
Say
know
you were
that,
carrying a child. How would you change?
I don't know, because like the thought of her having a child, I automatically think like I need to position myself financially and emotionally to be there to support. So if I was having a kid, I would expect that from her, I guess. If it was because at some point I'm not gonna be able to work, right? My ankles are gonna be fucking swollen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be bitching about things. And I told her the worst thing the world could actually do to a man, or we could do to the world, is have men get pregnant. Because like when a man's sick, we're fucking useless. I am. I'm just like, oh God,
I'm not.
I'm like, I'm a big fucking baby.
Did you ask her the $20 million question, which is, what would you want to be different?
No, I didn't.
Because that's what I feel like.
They're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I went into, I go, that there's, as far as we know, only one male species on the planet that gives birth.
The seahorse.
The seahorse, right? And I go, and then we start talking about male dominance and how women came to be lesser than men.
Yeah.
And right now, a lot of people believe that women equally as physically strong as all men. And we know that's not true, because there's also men.
Why you look at me like that?
You know what
Don't
I mean?
make me laugh, because
You
then
know
I'm
what I
going to
mean?
get another fucking response email
No,
from your wife.
And so I have to ask, how did men come
It's a
into
different kind of
dominance?
strength. I think we think when women say strength, we're already like, I could KO you right now.
Right.
But that's not the kind of strength we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah, we get it.
So it's
a
like
different kind of strength.
How did men come into dominance, right? And I said, and I was like, men are dominant for a reason. It might even be because it's nature, right? And I'm just throwing stuff. I don't know shit. I'm just saying maybe it's nature. Why do I say that, right? Is because if you look at the animal kingdom, all the alphas are males, right? And everyone, even in the lions, like the lionesses don't fuck around, right? So like the man, the lion, the main lion, he calls the shots.
Yeah.
But if he tries to,
she's more capable than him.
Right.
She's the one hunting, right?
Right.
She's hunting and nurturing.
Right. And
He's just chilling.
Right. So that's the thing, right?
Unless somebody else comes in,
Then
another
he-
alpha, then he's like, all right.
But he's stronger, right? He's stronger, so he's
yeah.
there to fucking protect the pride, and he takes all the blows, right? And not that the women don't have a fucking major role, which they do. She brought that up as well. I said yes. So, but if the alpha, whatever he is, the pride leader, tries to fuck with any of their cubs, he's gonna get the wrath of the females. They will fuck him up, but they also do it in a way that's submissive to let him know you're still a leader, but I'm not gonna let you kill my offspring. I go, there's only one that we know of, or at least me, I know of, sort of like animal that has the female as the alpha.
Yeah.
Which is the hyena.
Yeah.
Right. The hyena she even has a fake dick, right? Like she has a fake dick that she can dominate males with or whatever.
Stick it in their face.
Right. So, but by and large, though, usually in nature, the males dominate for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the truth. That's something that cannot be.
You don't know why?
I don't.
I'm
I
going
mean,
to say something that
I can think of a few reasons why.
I mean,
wildly unpopular. I don't think men have ever truly thought they were better than women. Ever.
what do you mean? Overall. No, I mean, there's definitely dudes out there think they're better than. Yeah.
I don't even think those dudes who think they're better than women think,
Okay.
like who say that shit.
Yeah.
But what do you mean better though? In what sense of the word?
Well,
Like
physically,
said it,
because
but
men, it boils
guy-
down to physicalities more than anything we think of.
Guys say stuff like that, but dudes know where the real power lies. Just think about it.
In the vulva?
Well, no, everything that a guy, even a guy who would say that, like, "Oh, baby doll, I'm better than you," or whatever.
Right.
He knows when it comes down.
Fucking who says that?
He knows when it comes down to it. If she offers him pussy,
Yeah.
he'll take it.
Yeah.
And through the offering of that like thing that she has, not even thing, but that organ that she has
Right.
between her legs, she can make him beat the shit out of his best friend.
Right.
She could possibly make him kill himself.
Yes, it happens. It's fucking happens.
She could make him kill himself.
It's for sure happens.
Guys know. Here's my opinion is that men deal with women the way they deal with women in the same way. Remember last podcast I was speaking about how people try to kind of like suppress like some of black history because it's so powerful that they go, if they fucking know how much they've done in this world, it might get a little too dicey. They might get a little too crazy, with their understanding of what they're truly, what their true position is in this world.
Yeah.
I think a lot of how women are treated in this world is akin to that.
Okay.
Where they go, like, look, when it comes down to it, we're doing all of this shit for women. All of it. All these wars and all of this money. What the fuck are we amassing all of this money for? For pussy and fame.
Right.
We know that the more money you get, more chicks around.
Right.
First
Power.
you
More,
get them,
more power, more fame you get, more eyes on you. But who do most heterosexual men give a fuck about the most in terms of like what they're ordering their life for?
Sure.
Like, it's to receive the adoration largely of women when it comes down to it, to get pussy.
Well, for me, there's a certain point in time where I was pushing hard on like my designing and this and that, and when I was single, I was like, my main motivation was exactly that, right? I wanted like pussy, I wanted the money. I knew that if I did this and that, this is where I'm gonna be and what I'm gonna do. And after like the pussy flow got cut off, right? And I was like, I'm only with this one person, and she accepts me no matter what. I had to find a new motivation. I was like, holy shit, this is a real thing. And this is just like me growing up, right? I was like, oh, that's not my motivation anymore. And because I had lost my momentum and I was like, what's going on? I had to really think about what was happening. And I was like, oh shit, I was doing this because this and that. So my new motivation now has to be family, right? Lineage, and securing a good future for my children and, my wife. And
Well, like, here's the thing. If, let's say tomorrow you woke up and you were in a world where you could get wildly rich and you could become the fucking absolute best top at whatever you decided to do in your life, and nobody gave a fuck. Like, nobody gave a fuck. It was just like you with a bunch of money and you were dope as fuck at something, and people were like, so?
Yeah.
How many guys would just be like, what the fuck am I doing all this for?
Because,
right?
Yeah. I mean, you
What
would
am I
say
doing?
you would live the easy life, right? You'd like, I'm just going to sit back the island life, right? You just chill.
Yeah.
And you'd be happy.
Maybe. But I'm saying for the most part, we're all doing this for the eyes.
Right.
For the most part. We're all doing it for the eyes. Everything that you do are for the eyes. And, and sometimes maybe it might be family and legacy and all that. But when it comes down to
the real thing is
like, how many of these women is really
admiration,
looking at me like, yo, he's dope.
But so that's
what, at your core, you want that. You want to feel that, even if you don't act on it.
Well, so that's the thing that's true, because in the position I'm at now, right, I'm like, I want to do this and that. And a part of me is like, but I want to be like, lack of I don't know, famous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want money though too. But do I really want to be famous, or do I just want money? Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I just stick to just getting money, that's definitely possible, right? But to be famous, and
I think famous would be a byproduct of that.
Exactly, right? So, but I'm like, wait, am I doing this to be famous, or am I doing it to get money?
You're probably doing it for both.
Right. So, but now, like,
I think,
like, I'm like, I just want to be very comfortable in my life. I want to do things I want to do, and I want to have, my motivation now is freedom.
Yeah. Wasn't the original question about men being able to carry babies?
Okay.
We got way off of that.
Yeah, we did.
But I was just
but I tied in. I was saying because I tied in what I tied in because I don't know. I think the world, obviously it would be different because like you'd be more compassionate. And I think that's the thing is that since you're carrying a child, there's certain emotions that are going to go with that.
Right.
Them shits are going to start to fucking like permeate and be crazy throughout. And it will probably be a feeling that most men just aren't used to or can't even understand at this point. Yeah. So I think it would be different in that way. But I think the reason why that you can't even really answer that question, because then I like I said, I would have to ask that group of women who were like hypothesizing how, what would you want to be different? Because that's what it seems like. Like
that's a good question.
I'm going, are you saying that you would like men to be less masculine? That's what I'm thinking.
Sure.
And
no,
like
they don't.
They love the masculinity.
That's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a problem.
Oh yeah.
Even fucking, I think like Joe Rogan was saying, like in a recent fucking podcast, I think his last one, he's saying that like he gets that there's a place for like feminism and all those things, and definitely there's a place for that. But he was saying with like feminists who are trying to make men less manly and less masculine, he was saying that's not going to it's not going to bode very well for
the women.
No, well, not even women, but think about like the dynamic of like like men and women's relations in terms of like having a child and having another. At a certain point where you go like, well, then you just have two women in a relationship. Is that what you really want? Because if you want us that close to you in terms of how you operate within this world, then you essentially will have two women engaging in a relationship. And is that fine? Because, I mean, at that point, do we get to the point where women are like, look, we don't want to have babies anymore. We've done this for far too long. It's this kind of like thing that women are supposed to do. Let's not do that.
So, it's funny. And yes, you're right what you're saying.
Where do human beings go at that point?
Right. Two women. And so we can say that because that's the easy thing to say because it's like the thing to hold on to. Yeah. But two individuals that have exact same thought processes, right, about life, which are going to be, the women are asking for it to be more like how they think. Yes. And, which is, it's not going to work. I mean, for the most part, I can't say that. Definitely, I said that very like matter of fact. I don't know, but I know that the majority of women.
Somebody's crackling. Huh?
Yeah, someone is crackling. Is it me?
It might be.
I heard it. For a second.
It went away.
That's good. Whatever.
It did went away. Right.
But it's probably your beard. That's it.
Okay. What was it? No, it sounded like crackling.
No, it was crackling.
Yeah, but the thing is this. How about this? Everyone has their own flavor. Some people want a man or a woman that's more masculine, more feminine. Some women love a fucking lumberjack. Mm-hmm. To pick them up, carry them around, like they love it, and it's okay. There's a flavor for everyone out there, and it's fine. There's a louder voice out there that are asking for more of a homogenized human being where we're all wearing fucking tan khakis and like fucking white t-shirts and we can't discern whether it's a male or female or like what are you like it doesn't matter
what's pronoun?
I'm only attracted to you as a thing, not as a physical entity. And you're right, where do we go from there, right? So at some point in time, listening to one of the podcasts of this thing is that like babies will be test tube babies and you'll pick out the best baby and sex will just be a physical activity that human beings do, right? Because anyone that at any point in time decides to have a baby the natural way is considered taking a risk.
You're going to bring out the seashells?
Yeah. But, and then what were you saying about like just like men?
Oh well, I was just I think more often than not women want men to be men when they need them to be men, and they want them to be women when they want them to be women.
Yes.
When by women I mean like they want them to be like more in touch with their emotions, and I know that's not like that shouldn't be equated to like a
women,
female trait.
right.
But women tend to be more.
It's just the easy way to say it,
and it's easy because I'm like. I'm not always, all sympathetic,
Yes. And sometimes I'm an asshole.
And mostly it's because I can't carry a baby. I don't know what that's like,
Yeah. It was funny. I heard this thing today where this guy was talking about the way you are coming out of the womb, right? So, like, a lot of it is part of his DNA.
I came out stoic.
just not even crying or anything.
Like a Che Guevara. Che Guevara look on your face.
The clock on the wall.
So part of it is DNA, part of it is social conditioning, but a big part of it also is the way the environment is around the mother, right? Mm-hmm. So his explanation was, think about it this way. The mother lives in a certain environment, whether it be violent, whether it be peaceful, whatever it may be, chaotic. Those get imprinted in on the child in the womb.
That would make total sense.
The reason why is because that child has to be able to survive in that environment once it comes out. Uh-huh. So it has to already be somewhat adapted to the chaos or whatever it may be. Yeah. And that's now in them. And they have to grow up with that, and it's just there. It's part of the core because it was there before it even came out of the body, right? And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
and that's fucked up because you come from a chaotic thing, but you really want to have a certain type of life. I feel like it's harder for that individual to come up.
Oh yeah, you already have the road set in front of you.
Right,
you're basically driving the car down the road.
Yeah, that's
just autopilot. You can't stop it.
Don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody. You think the natural way to deal with certain situations is violence or yelling. Yeah. And man,
and then somebody's like, "This is totally wrong," and you're like, "Well, what's fucking right?" Because this is the only thing I know.
Right? Yeah, and it's crazy.
I can interrupt this with an adorable photo of current Jupy in her room right now.
Wow, that's cool.
That's her hair. Look how long her fucking hair is right there.
Oh my god, that looks.
Is she sleep just hanging out?
Yeah, she just.
Can I just say that that reminds me of The Ring?
Yeah, it is. Look at her just falling out of the crib.
Oh my god, I watch too many scary videos to look at baby monitor.
By the way, we finally gave in and got a baby monitor, and it's the most addictive thing ever. Before I go to sleep, I'll just look and look at her and
look at her.
I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
What if you see a dark figure
tootsie rolling and shit? I see you, daddy.
It's funny. It's funny seeing her fuck around in the morning. She just plays around in her crib
for a little while until she
flops around. It's fun. Yeah, I know that. I told her it's all fun and games until you see some kind of
a dark figure
creeping in there. I'm like,
and I've seen way too many videos.
Now
we
got to burn the whole house down.
Yeah,
sorry, we got to move.
So there's the straw thing going on right now, right? We're getting rid of all plastic straws.
That's good, man. All you need to do is see that one video of them yanking that straw out of that poor sea turtle's nose, and if you have no emotion to that, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shove a straw.
Dude, that shit is hard to watch.
It is hard to watch. It's horrible.
There was a certain point where I was like, fucking pull it out already, dude. God damn it.
Trey, watch it just so you can feel bad about it.
Well, so this lady, I guess recently, she was an older lady. She had one of those mason jars with the lid, and then she had a metal straw.
Yeah, we have metal straws too.
Yeah, we just got our metal straws, right?
Everyone should eventually start doing their part, man.
Yeah, I mean, Starbucks said by 2020 they're not gonna have straws anymore, right?
That's good.
Yeah, so paper straws are probably fine.
How
I guess.
I drink this beverage?
I told you that the dude I worked with was like, why didn't they give me a straw? I was like, because this and that. He goes, that's the stupidest thing I've heard.
That's fucking stupid, eh?
Yeah, he said, that's stupid. And I was like, I go, listen, dude.
Yeah, I gave him that accent.
I was like, well, I told him, did you know there's a plastic garbage patch in the ocean the size of Texas?
Yeah.
Fucking straws or whatever. It's just one piece. I go, straws are just the beginning, man.
He's
straws
I live in the ocean?
So anyways, this lady, she slipped, fell, and the fucking straw went through her eye and into her brain. Fucking dead. So I guess someone showed up. Might have been her son showed up or whatever and saw her laying on the floor and was like, what the hell's going on? And she was making a weird gurgling sound. Rushed to the hospital and she died.
That is some Final Destination shit.
Yeah, that's some weird shit.
That's a way you're not supposed to die.
Yeah.
But that being said, it is super dangerous to be fucking walking around if you think about it, that's going to happen. It's going to happen, maybe not death.
Yeah, but
I can see people falling and
I can't get this out of my mouth.
Taking it back through the back of their neck or something. Yeah, I know. You got to be careful with that.
You got to be careful. Yeah. So, anyways.
Or they just start putting more research into making, the plastic out of the fungus and stuff that, because then it's biodegradable and,
Yeah.
Or just forever drink out of pirouettes. I don't know.
Maybe just drink without a straw. Done
with that, chomp it down.
Delicious.
Yeah, edible wrappers.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, there's a totally random thing, but I don't know how I fell into this loophole, but I screen capped it. because I was wondering, I don't know what I heard about something about lab mice and like rodents and stuff like that, and how many get used for research and why they get used for research.
Yeah.
And I guess the U.S. is smart. They don't declare how many rodents they actually go through for like medical research.
Yeah.
They said in 1 year in the UK, 3.5 million procedures on rodents. 3.5 million rodents are dead every year.
Yes.
Wow.
In the UK, and they just you don't know what kind of, and it's not just like rats. It's rats, mice, guinea pigs, which are adorable,
Right.
hamsters, which are adorable, gerbils, which are adorable, and they're not reported in the U.S., but they think that it's approximately 100 million in a year.
Well,
Damn.
how many rats are in New York? There's more rats in New York than there are people.
But it sucks because it's like I think
fucking with
medical
rats in
people
New
will talk
York.
about like mice and rats being like the unsung heroes in like
Right.
medical research because they are so closely linked to us via like DNA. I think they share like 99. They share like 90% of our genes or something like that. And
I didn't
they,
know that.
Yeah, so that's why they use them because they pass
Rat
on
bastard.
Yeah, they pass on hereditary diseases like we do. So like I guess they're physiologically they function a lot like us. So
Okay.
that's why they use a lot of them. But I'm also like, I'm still kind of sad, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's a fucking ton of mice.
Yeah.
And I personally have no qualms with rats. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gross when they're in trash cans and stuff. But
Yeah.
if you see a rat like being sold at a pet store, they're pretty cute. And I had a pet rat at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey's not into rats.
Trey, listen. I grew up where there was like rats in trash cans
Yeah.
and shit, and like on the wires, we used to shoot them off the wires.
I'm shell shocked
And-
by rats. I had friends who didn't have the greatest like household upbringing.
Yeah.
I-
I had mice in my house
Dude,
all the time.
I'd have to like sleep over their houses, and
Yeah.
oh my god, you can't fucking go to
Dude,
sleep.
Oh yeah,
get
you
them
hear
up,
them. You hear them.
I remember when Trace did that at my place in East LA, and
Oh my
I was like,
God.
"Why is Trey bugging so much? It's just a fucking rat."
No, Steve,
No. And I was laughing because that motherfucker was getting into something.
Yo, I brought something to eat
Oh,
at your pad.
and he's like,
and-
"I'm gonna take a bite of that."
and I sat it right next to where I was sleeping. This motherfucker, I'm talking about like 2 feet away from me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, get this fucking thing.
So I got a funny thing. So when I moved out of that place, they sealed it. They sealed the whole top up or whatever, because no one was living up there, and it gets hot as fuck up there.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of stuff up there still, right? Plus like.
I remember the rat. Yeah,
Yeah,
in the backpack. Right?
Yeah. I had like not even that, right? But I had like shampoo and all this other shit. I had like 100 condoms in a drawer, sort of thing. I came to pick up my shit, right? Like a couple months later.
Like, I'm gonna,
dude.
This is the black Bill Bellamy. I mean, the white Bill Bellamy.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because I went over there and I was like, why is there a condom on the ground? I was like, that's weird for people to come up here and just open up condoms and leave them on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Then I saw more. Dude, there was like 20 condoms just like on the ground.
All chewed through?
All chewed through.
That's so gross.
So here's what was, and so then my shampoo that I had in the drawer.
Yeah.
Dude, I opened it up and the bottles were halfway, well, I would say a quarter way chewed away.
Yeah.
And so what happened was the rats up there, they had no access to water, and they got trapped up there, and they sealed it off.
So
And they were looking for
Any
any
kind of
sort
moisture.
of moisture, and they were tearing the condoms out.
Dude, they lived and subsided on spermicide and air conditioner.
air conditioner, dude. And I felt so
They're hardy, man. There's a hardy
I felt
animals.
so
They don't give a shit.
fucking
Shit,
bad,
they're
dude.
cockroaches,
I was
man.
like, why are my condoms everywhere?
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Rats were fucking up there.
Yeah, and the funny thing about the funny thing about those condoms was they said at the college, like, if you go to the nurse, she'll give you free condoms.
Yeah, you get free condoms.
Cool. I went to the nurse and I was like, yeah, I heard you guys have like condoms, right? And she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. She gave me a shoebox full of condoms. That's why I had so many, right? And I was like,
Why in a
holy-
shoebox?
I have no idea. So
I can tell you're a host.
I was like,
Here's a bunch of
probably
condoms.
what
I
she
thought,
said, yeah.
I thought I was just going for like a couple, right?
Yeah.
She gives me a shoebox, all different
all different varieties.
All varieties,
and shit.
dude, all
Not even
kinds-
all of them are going to work for you.
Yeah, I was like, And here's the creepy part, right? And it's kind of.
If you have a black boyfriend, there's magnums on the bottom.
That sucks that she said boyfriend for you.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit. So I was like, oh, I don't need. She goes, no, just take them. I was like, okay, so. And then there's like 3 other women standing around there working the office, and they obviously have like a giggle in their face, right? And I'm like, okay. So I'm leaving, right? I feel awkward. Yeah. And she goes, report back to me. Tell me how it goes. I was like,
why the fuck would she say that?
Okay, I swear to God.
You didn't try to fuck her? Because it looks like she wanted you to
Sounded like she wanted to use some of this.
I wasn't trying to hit that, bro. And I was like, okay.
You should have paid her
Sounded like you wouldn't have had to try very hard.
Yeah.
She was generous to you. You should have been generous to her.
Nah, I'm selfish. Selfish with I'm selfish with my dick.
The best part would be if you smashed her and you didn't use a condom. She just gave you a shoebox. You're like, I'm raw dogging this.
You know what? I'm
old
gonna be
nurse.
honest with you. I didn't use any of
This
these.
old school nurse.
You should at least gave her half the dick. Just give her 6 inches.
Damn, $5 footlong.
There you go.
Lord.
There you go.
That's interesting, man. Yeah.
It was weird. It was awkward. Yeah. So,
Needless to say, you went through all of those condoms.
no. I didn't. I wish I did would have.
How many of them were expired? Because when you give away shit like that in bulk and in many different like brands, it's usually like these have been sitting here for a fucking long time.
I don't know. I always checked before I threw one on, though. I never came across an expired one, but I for sure. I mean, I wish I would have went through all of them. There was a lot, but I didn't. There was a lot. There's more than I can handle in that box.
Yeah, I don't know. Trey, you have a real problem with like mice and spiders and stuff.
Condoms.
And condoms.
Yeah, I don't like.
I'm really averse to those condoms.
Definitely with rodents and things like that. Because I'm black, dude, and you grew up around. Like I said, I had friends who didn't have. It was just a free for all. It was like rats, mice, fucking all kinds of insects and shit. Like you open up a box of cereal.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Dude, no, seriously, that's how it was in my house.
We had bad news.
We didn't have rats in the house. We had rats in the garage and out by the trash cans and on the power lines.
Tell them. Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say, tell them the story when you had what's your pit bull's name? The boy before.
Oh, talking about Jay?
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, he wasn't a pit bull. He wasn't a pit bull.
No, he wasn't a pit bull.
He was a mutt, or was
he was like a mutt. Yeah.
But
where I fed him a live mouse.
so fucked up.
But listen, I was young and I didn't care about animals at that point. Not animals. I didn't care about rodents. At that time.
You like threw it in there and he just chomped it.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
Speaking about what Trey was saying, like he opened up a fucking
Then they'd be
box
in there.
of cornflakes and they're in there. Yeah. Because we would have all the dry goods in a drawer that you pull out, like stovetop stuff and whatever. I don't know what the fuck. Beans and rice, and you pull this thing out,
shake and bake,
and they would scatter around. And one jumped, and I caught that fucker by the tail, and I was like, "Oh damn!" And my dog was licking his chops, and I was like, threw it up in the air just to see if he would catch it, and he swallowed him whole.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, and I was like, "Wow,
that's the animal world right there, man."
Yeah, he didn't give a shit.
The fucking shark eyes just blank.
Yeah. He was like, "What's next?"
you gonna pour me a bowl of snuff or fucking frosted flakes or what?
We had mice everywhere. Like my dad would set the fucking worst thing, by the way, the most inhumane thing you could set is a glue trap.
It's fucked up.
Because if you have a glue trap, what you know is that the thing is stuck. They will try and chew their legs off. That's how voracious they are. Yeah. And then if they're not dead yet, you have to dispose of them. Yeah. So that's when you have to get out the pellet rifle and blow
put one in the fucking noodle. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor little things.
I've always been adverse to that idea of like, it's inhumane. Jeez, you don't fucking kill him anyway. Snap his neck with a fucking like trap.
At least it's quick.
Well, no, that's quick. That's a quick one versus a slow death.
Whatever, he's gonna die.
Nah, man.
Nah, it's different. It's different. If I had a choice to die between getting my neck snapped or
slowly starve to death, yeah. You know,
come on, man.
When
it's going out regardless.
It's not the same.
I might as well keep his ass in a glue trap, wrap him in a fucking in a little duffel bag or some shit.
Even the mouse
and then he'll suffocate. Come on,
never.
Even the mouse that got devoured by my dog got a better fate than those glue traps.
It's true. It's very true. You know, the place I lived over in East LA.
You don't just pick the glue trap up and just like slam it on the ground as hard as you can.
No, you don't. We used to shoot him with a BB gun. Like just one shot would kill it. But it was really sad. Now that I think about it now, I'm like,
it's fucking sad. So you know, that time that I was dog sitting a pit bull, super sweet dog, and I was in the kitchen washing dishes. And she went into the pantry and I heard like a squeaking. I was like, well, what the fuck? I was like, hey, whatever the dog's name is, come here. And I look in there. there was a little, I want to say kangaroo mouse, because I don't know, but it was like,
what does it look like? Timon.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and she was just like smelling its head and shit, and it was like, oh, I can't go anywhere. So it was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is fucked up, and I was pissed that someone put a glue trap down, dude. Like, so I was like, all right, well, you're in it, man. There's nothing I can do for you.
Yeah.
So I went in the backyard looking for the machete.
Yeah.
Because I was going to cut him in half.
Yeah, of course.
I was going to cut his fucking head off because,
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, man, but I don't want you to suffer.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I'm pissed that I have to do this,
And I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
So I was like, I couldn't find the machete, and I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? So I Googled it. And luckily I did, right? How to free, so I find a way to free, like, a mouse or whatever stuck on a glue trap, how to free it, right?
They have to be very not glued to it for you to free those fucking things.
Yeah,
It's
you
true.
have a lot of fucking free time. Steve, you got all this free time.
Right,
Like, just fucking pick it up and slam it on the goddamn
it's
ground.
fucked up.
It really wants to pick up a glue trap mouse and slam it on the ground,
man.
So it was all four of its legs were stuck, right? And luckily,
Christ.
sometimes you're right, they're stuck on their side, right? And
Or
it's on
they're
the-
even their body. If their body's
the body's
the game over.
So it says to like basically what you got to do is you got to get a Q-tip, right? And you got to get olive oil. And
that makes sense,
And
yeah.
then so you get olive oil,
Yeah,
and
I see
then
where you're going with
you
that.
put it on like a pencil so you have extension so it can't fucking bite you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's freaking out. So I was like, fuck it, let's do this, And I took the time and I put olive oil, and then I even poured it on the glue trap, and I put him in a giant bucket, and I slowly but surely got his legs loose, and I threw got him loose, right?
Yeah.
Got him off that fucking thing, and
And then you threw him into a
Threw him into
traditional
a-
trap.
then I,
garbage
then I
disposal.
flushed him down the toilet.
I would have
That'd be hilarious.
thrown him headfirst into a traditional trap.
Fuck. That's how you do it.
Just threw him at the fucking wall.
So I threw that shit away, and then I threw some cereal in there, and he didn't want anything to fucking do with the cereal, and so I just let him let him calm down, and he started like kind of grooming himself.
I don't know. That's funny to me.
Yeah.
What do you think to do with the cereal?
Yeah.
Think I'm vegan.
So then I walked down to there's an area on a couple houses down. There's like a blank plot of land, right?
Yeah.
So I walked over there, and then I set the thing down, and I slowly lifted up so he can like walk out. So I expect this motherfucker to dart, right? He's like, I'm free, I'm gone. So I set it down, and I swear to God, it's gonna sound like bullshit, but it's not. I set it down. He gets out, and he's sitting there for a minute.
He like looks back at you like,
Dude, he
like 5-0 from American Tales.
So I was like, go. I was like, go. Trey, he looks back at me. Swear to God, I'm not fucking bullshitting you. He looks back at me,
See if he was doing LSD though.
No. It looked. No, I'm not saying he looked back at me like to say thanks. He might look back at me like, "Are you gonna fucking stomp me out?" Or he fucking looked back, dude. There's no way around it. And I kind of like gasped. I was like, huh. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then it just like slowly walked off into the bushes, and that was it. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Did I just have a Disney moment right now, dude?
He mouthed thank you.
Yeah,
He might have.
Or he flipped me the bird and then
You might
walked
have.
away.
Yeah, you might have.
But it was weird. It was a weird moment because what was it? The
Anthropomorphizing of the mouse.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to put that on that situation, but it was weird.
I'd say maybe it might have looked at you with gratitude.
Right. And I was like, okay. And
Yeah,
then
you
I
saved my life.
Feeling pretty good about myself. I'm glad I didn't find that machete because this would have been a different story.
It's true. And then I chopped it in half, and that was it. That was that.
That was that.
So we have like 9 minutes.
Oh, okay. What do we got?
Have you two come across that new craze of fucking licking ice cream?
Oh, I love that craze. I did that the other day. I ate a whole ice cream. It's so wild.
No. People are going. They're like,
Yes, and then they put it back.
They're walking into fucking establishments where they sell ice cream, taking the fucking top off of these ice creams, licking them, putting the top back on, and placing them back in the cooler.
Yeah, but you gotta be real dumb to buy one of those because they have the plastic seals.
That's true.
No, but from what I'm seeing,
I only buy Ben and Jerry's.
It
And
looks-
you got to break a seal.
Yeah, only certain like ice cream manufacturers
true.
have plastic seals.
You-
That's gross, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Those,
And this chick is cute. It's kind of fucked up because then you're like,
I would lick that then.
Because you lick it and you get a little bit,
Yeah.
you get a little thick thinking about it. Indirect kiss.
Dude,
what if she has herp?
Yeah.
Indirect herp.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing too is that
Whole fucking salted caramel.
so it is true that people go through stages in their life where they're not mentally 100. You know what I mean? Like that's like they think it's funny, and maybe
people they're like they take immaturity to like the maximum.
right, and that is a form of like retardation.
He said it, folks.
I'm just playing. I just said that. I just said that just to fuck around.
Steve said the R word.
Dude, if Ruth heard me say that,
Mystery Children Podcast at gmail.com. Direct all mail
all
to
your concerns.
Steve and Ferradino.
I love the silence when I said it to you guys. Like, what the fuck? I was just saying that to fuck around. No. But I do feel like there's a certain point where people aren't 100%. I don't know.
A little bit R word.
A little
what you wanted to say.
A little bit R word, you know,
Yeah.
and they think that it is the legit funny thing to do when it's really just like, no, man, I think you just.
No, I think that's fucked up. That's not right. That's just fucked up. That's just fucking. That's mean because it's like that's mean spirited more than
It's
anything.
sneaky as fuck too,
And
right?
it's, you know what? I hope someone comes in their fucking frappuccino. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I
It's
want
just
you
really
to,
gross,
I
man.
want
I
you
mean,
to unwillingly eat some fucking nasty shit too.
You don't know what the fuck she has at all. I mean, that's the thing. You obviously don't want to feel like, you know, she's gonna give you anything major, but just the idea that she would put herself first in that way, just to lick. I have no idea what the fuck you have in your mouth.
What if the woman that you think is extremely high right now, celebrity or not, walks up to you and just fucking spits in your face?
I'd hopefully I'd catch it in my mouth.
Yeah, little bit.
Like I said, it's just kidding, Dave. Geez,
Relax, Sarah. I gave him the winky eye when I said that.
joshing.
Oh my god,
Couple guys saying guy
Jesus!
stuff.
It depends on the tone.
Relax.
It depends on the tone.
Like
Why
like she
tone?
hates you.
It has to be the tone of the spit.
Like she wishes that you die.
oh,
That's
then
even hotter.
She's getting slapped up.
You wouldn't collect it up in a jar?
That would just get me going.
She doesn't like me. What the fuck? Nothing
don't
sexual
know
is gonna
that.
come out of it.
Yeah, there is.
It's
He
hate.
just
hate
said
sex.
it's hate.
Sex.
She's saying fuck you.
You really
And she
can't read
spits in my
women.
face.
That's all I know.
Oh, Trey, so far to go.
That's her saying.
Nigga, I asked you what the tone was.
That's her saying. I want to bone. you."
Yeah. No means yes. Come on, everybody knows this, Trey.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm not subscribing to any of this shit. I'm not subscribing to any of this.
No, get off
Trey
of
doesn't want to
me.
dip in any
means-
freaky shit.
No, it's not a freak shit. Like, you have to tell me what she
I'm
means.
just kidding about
if
that.
she means, like, I hate you, but I fuck you, then it might be different.
Oh.
I might catch it in my mouth. I might open up like,
The sound it made is great. It's like dropping a penny in a well.
That's the sound of it hitting the back of your throat.
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little dangly thing in the back.
Fucking pops you right in the uvula.
Went down the wrong hole.
Shot it right down my lungs.
Try again.
I'm not into the whole spit play, but it's
No,
really
not
funny
at all. It's
to act
hilarious to
like
think
I am
about it,
into
dude.
though.
And like, is it just spit or is there some like mucus in it?
Oh, God, we're going way too far.
If
bro.
she's pulling it way back, like
Yeah, she's
fucking-
digging deep.
like Ace Ventura.
I don't
like,
care how
nah, I'm
fucking
good.
hot you are. I'm gonna move.
Were you ever young and weird enough to have spit fights? We used to have those. shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
yes,
And I'm talking about it was
yes.
all loogie. Like,
Yep.
Ours were gleek. You gleek.
I don't know how to do that on.
Oh
command,
my
but
God, dude!
Ours wasn't gleek. That shit was
Yo,
all fucking
No.
spit.
But the thing is though, me and a
By
friend
the
of
way,
mine.
this is me in like fucking first or second grade. I'm saying I wasn't that fucking old.
Yeah. No, dude, there was time I always lost that shit, dude. I was like,
This was like fifth grade. Like,
Nah.
now if you see two grown men doing it, that means they're lovers.
oh yeah, they
Yeah,
fucking.
they're
yeah,
doing something.
yeah. That's okay though.
Spit on my cock, Jerry.
No, their face.
Well, that one's pretty obvious.
Yeah, this is a little obvious that they're lovers. No,
Wait, what? What did you say?
hey, did you guys ever play a game where someone would walk up and they'd take their middle knuckle and hit like your upper forearm?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Sucks.
Yeah.
That dude.
We called it Big Brother.
These are all the
Okay,
games
that
that
makes
boys
sense.
play. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
These aren't things that girls.
I just made that up.
You
That
know
was
what?
Cool
It
that
can.
You said that was
it can,
cool.
Yeah. Slapping each other in the dick which can be definitely, if you're a grown man doing it, you're
Just
probably
boys
lovers.
being boys, you know?
Boys being boys, fingering each
Reach
other's
your hand up
buttholes
their
and everything,
shorts,
you know?
and just stroke their wieners. You're like,
All
now
that.
you're in. You know? Oops. Oopsie.
God, I'm not even trying to. I'm sleeping.
All of us running around with boners. Just kids, young, innocent boys.
Dude, I saw a hilarious.
Gently tongue kiss the taint.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Damn,
I saw
Jesus Christ, dude.
I saw a fucking hilarious illustration the other day where it's the how you hide your boner in high school. And there's a dude carrying books, but he hollowed out a hole in the pile of books, and he just got his fucking boner in it. It was so stupid.
So dumb. So stupid. Or is that like that one meme that you sent me? Like, I hate when this happens. The guy flips his legs back, and then his dick is all the way down his own throat. Dude, what the fuck?
Dude, straight up, that happened to me yesterday in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you did tell
Dude,
me. It was basically
so
that.
I was playing.
Suck your own dick?
I could have.
You could have if you
I
wanted.
fucking could have. Let me just tell you what happened. So the dude, he weighs a little over 280, right? And I was retaining guard or whatever. And then
He stacked you.
He stacked the fuck out of me. Not only did he stack me, he sprawl stacked me.
Stacked the fuck
Dude,
out of me.
my dick hit my face for sure. And I yelled out, "Ah!" Dude, I couldn't even help it. Dude, my muscles in my back stretched to capacity. My dick was almost in my mouth. Like it hit.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't wearing pants, I would have tasted my dick for sure. He said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Fuck, I think so.
great.
I think so." But I didn't go to jiu-jitsu today because my back.
It's not a
hurts.
lot. That's something that's like a shoot. That's like a Haley's Comet where your own penis hits your own face.
It's strange.
I think you're kind of lucky, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like a four-leaf clover.
I mean,
It's like finding a four-leaf. It's a rabbit's foot.
Hanging out. We've been hanging out our whole life, my face and my dick,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
never actually met.
Yeah.
And then yesterday was a first.
Yeah.
So
maybe if I wasn't so fat, I probably could. But
We have the
Trey, if you could
we have
suck
the
your dick, would
weirdest
you?
fucking conversation.
we went from
Like,
a
this shit
super
started off-
intellectual conversation. Now we're talking about dicks touching your own face.
I mean, if you could suck your own dick, could suck your own dick, is that considered gay if you sucked your own dick?
Fuck, that's a hard question.
Then you get into like shades of it. Like, do you
That's
swallow
a
your own
hard
load?
question.
Well,
Is it gay?
If it's gay if you swallow your own load, yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Is it?
Because that means that you're like thinking about swallowing loads in general.
But what if it's just?
it just happens to be yours?
What if it's just like the fact that you're like, haha, I'm here
Well,
by myself.
I would
can
stroke
do
my
this to
own dick,
myself.
but I wouldn't let someone else stroke my dick. That's a
Imagine
dude.
if things got so fucking so hetero.
But then doesn't
Okay.
take the
Think
flavor
about-
away from head though. Like, is potent when your girl's giving you head?
There's flavor in head.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, oh, I could do this better. You know what I'm saying? Like when a girl's jacking you off, she never really.
Totally. You're like, just stop.
Just stop. Let me
sweetheart.
do it.
Let me do that.
But that happened in scary movie, right?
That's fucking stupid.
So stupid.
It's so fucking stupid.
Let me suck my own dick. I got this.
I would love to see the girl's face. I would absolutely love to see the girl's face if you said that.
How gross is that? Because like you're going to town.
No,
This is how you do it.
just stop. I'll do it. That's gross, dude.
Oh
That is fucking
God!
disgusting.
You take it to the base.
Imagine. Then you look up at her face.
She's like, what the fuck?
How?
like she just saw Exorcism.
Oh
the most unholy thing she's ever seen.
Oh God!
Dislocated like 4 ribs.
Oh my
And
God!
this concludes our
Another
episode.
educational
I
moment.
hope you guys learned a lot.
The more you know.
I hope you weren't listening to this with your children. It's definitely not suitable. Anyways, you guys have any?
You guys have a good night.
You guys have a great night. The sweet dreams.
Yeah, let that
birthday,
sit in
Wade.
your fucking mind.
Yeah. You guys have any closing thoughts?
Happy
We're about to
birthday.
get out of here.
I don't have any closing thoughts.
No.
None. You know,
learn
just
how to give yourself head. better.
here's a closing thought.
Improve your life.
If you're someone other than a family member or a friend that listens to this fucking podcast, and I hope no family members are listening
Tell
to
a
this
friend and
podcast,
tell a
I would
friend.
never have my family members
please
listen.
have one person you think might enjoy this content, this educational show,
Yeah.
and like it or not.
We're trying to give a service to people. when we do it.
I don't like doing this. I have to do this.
You know, yeah. Someone.
I don't like doing this.
I had, like
That's
they're
like sucking your own dick.
Yeah, they're like, you know what the
Fuck you, damn
community
punk.
needs? The community needs this.
No, pass the word along. You know, and we're right now we're going organically. At some point, we'll force the marketing situation.
Yeah,
but
maybe
until
get some
then,
advertisements.
hey, pass it along. You know, fuck it. You know
what you gotta do.
You know,
Yeah,
they're not
find us
gonna-
on Stitcher, iTunes,
iTunes,
Podbean.
And
all major
as a final
platforms.
note,
Yeah.
And someday YouTube.
everybody out there, for the love of God, don't go off into a woodsy mansion and shoot yourself in the face with a shotgun in a garden shed.
He's talking about Gus Van Sant's film based loosely on Kurt Cobain.
Oh shit. Okay.
Okay.
Someday I'll see.
We're gonna shut this down before an angry security guard walks in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get out of here. But email us
y'all.
at the Mystery Children Podcast at gmail.com. At some point, we're gonna switch that to an official email where it's like info at the mysterychildrenpodcast.com. I don't know. We might get crazy.
I like forcing people to have to go to that long ass fucking email.
As long as fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe
someday
we
we'll change it.
maybe we just
Maybe we
do
should
the
do info at MCP.
yes.
Sure. There you go.
We might do-
Coming soon. All right, y'all.
That light just went out on its own. That's
It
crazy.
did.
All right.
Whatever. All right,
Have
y'all.
a good night, everybody.
Peace,
All right,
love.
peace.
Peace.